Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I'm as always Alex, and today for part one, I am joined by Xavier. How are you doing, Xavier?
I am doing great. Surprisingly, first of all, I tried to get on previously during Dylan's break, but you know what? I'm not gonna make that joke. I was gonna say something really mean, but basically, Alex had a million excuses why I couldn't come on, but you know it's all right. Politics eventually worked in my favor. I got on, but excited to be back. This is the first time me and Alex have been here with just the two of us as far as recording. We usually have a third. Um, I'm actually kind of shocked. A surprisingly good Sapporo loop, which usually isn't the case because when Marigold is usually in the trenches for these tours, it's pretty dreadful because a lot of that crowd is just there to hang out.
Yeah, they got that sponsor money this time though, so they were ready to go. Maybe they gave them protein shakes for free or something. And they were all
That's crazy. Come to Marigold, we'll get you a protein shake.
Hey man, they had the protein shake on the Mass Fiesta, you know, the powered up Chiaki. He was ready to run through walls.
Holy shit! I need every wrestling company to do that.
Yes.
Come to our show. We'll get you a fucking a chicken combo. Oh, that's great. I love
Taking wrestling back.
Joshi.
Yeah, but you guys can listen to one of Xavier's other shows, the No Limit Wrestling show, on the 5-star-network.com. Head on over to there for all the great articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of wrestling, and then head on over to the 5-Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this An Actress Stage and No Limit Wrestling all go up. I don't know what your guys' plans is for No Limit this month, or if there is one. Is it the awards?
Oh yeah. Yes, it is. So next, everybody can thank me for when Dylan's on the next episode because I told him, I said, hey, we should do year-end awards. So I usually just do them in an article form, but outside of my biases, I really fucking hated pro wrestling this year. Could just be a combination of wrestling sucked and personal stuff, but I just legitimately think just wrestling wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would have dreaded writing an article and trying to sit there and type out my feelings about pro wrestling. So I was just like, me and Dylan have a show. We don't have a plan for this month. I said, hey, do you want to do like year-end awards for, the year? And he was just like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Plus, it doesn't really take us any prep at all outside of, going back and picking what we liked for each of the awards. So I think it's a good way to close out the year. I know we want to do another draft again. You see, here's the thing. Whenever we actually start doing content again, we end up wanting to do drafts again. It probably doesn't help that the last show we did was the fucking Big Egg. So
yeah, that's tough. You guys should watch more WWE for the show. I think that's really the way to get in. 2000s WWE.
We're supposed to do a Cena thing with Scott at some point. I don't know when. Dylan, whenever we were putting that together, I didn't anticipate Dylan just giving up on wrestling. So
yes.
so we'll just have to see whenever that happens. Well, the thing is about 2000s WWE is I don't really want to watch some of it. Secondly, it's just that we usually just let the guests pick whenever we do have guests, most of them don't want to watch 2000s
kind of running out of
WWE.
guests, though.
Yeah.
So
Most of the people we talk to probably don't know 2000s WWE exists.
That's true.
I think a lot of our friend group is just newer wrestling fans.
That's a shame, though. They're missing them Bobby Lashley matches.
Exactly. They don't get it.
And
they weren't there for December to Dismember.
Exactly. Yeah. He was always the right winner there, for sure. But yeah, you guys can look forward to that. The year-end awards. I'm sure Tam Nakano will sweep some of them. Dylan will talk a lot about how she killed his love of wrestling by leaving.
Bro, we're gonna get called so many names in the comments when I don't have any Stardom or New Japan awards.
I feel like
probably no AEW or WWE either. We're gonna get so much hate. It's gonna be great anyway, and not the other hate.
Yeah, well, that was one of the reasons why I didn't consider you as a guest, because I was like, if I ask him to watch Stardom, he might beat me over the head with something. So we
No,
kind of
the
got
thing
lucky.
is, no, the thing is, like, Saida singles match, I'm there. That and like, I think it was Scott that brought the point up, or because like we were sitting in the call and Dylan was just like, "Why didn't Alex ask Xavi?" And then Scott was just like, "Yeah, you watch worse wrestling for your own show." I was like, "Oh, you know what? Fair."
I don't know. I didn't want to subject you to Stardom, though. I know I
Yeah,
feel
you
so
know,
fast
that's fair.
sometimes. But we got lucky because we can just do Marigold this time. Scott and me are going to do Stardom later. So we're
Yeah,
going to get
thank
into
you for
the.
not subjecting me to a Hanako title match. Thank you.
That is fair. Hanako's not too bad anymore, but you know. We're going to get into the review part here. There were two shows from Sapporo this weekend that both went up today, so that was very fun trying to watch them both. The first one was during the day in the APA Hotel and Resort in Sapporo, and it did 356 fans, which I always find funny because there was 400 at the show later, so 50 people just kind of decided to show up late,
Uh,
and I
well,
always find that
well,
entertaining.
Yuzuki Misa Matsui proven not draws. That's all I gotta say.
That is correct.
Hummingbird on top.
Yuzuki is in fact a loser and a geek. Um, we opened the show with Gaki Nyan Cayman beating Megaton in 5.5 minutes. Now, Velke and I tried to look into Gaki Nyan Cayman, and
Yeah,
I guess
because
there's
she's
two.
definitely a second generation. Because
Yes.
her cage match has her like being 32. This one is not 32,
No,
and
no.
like the oldest track match on the cage match is 2007. I find it very hard to believe that this one was not in school in 2007.
Yeah, no, because I think Rossi put out a tweet where he was like, "Oh, I met this girl like 13 years ago. I didn't even realize when I booked her." And I was like, "Oh,
Do you think he booked her thinking she was like her mother?
yes, definitely."
That's
Like that is
awesome.
for sure what happened. And then he showed up and was like, "Oh, was a new one." So the new Gaki Nyan Cayman is essentially if you rolled out Starlight Kid with a like a piece of dough, because she is
Hmm.
very tall. She wears the mask. She does a dance. If she
Hmm.
was anyway decent in the ring, I think she would have got offered a contract. But that is where the problem rises.
Yeah.
'Cause she was not very good. She made Megaton look like a workhorse at some points.
Uh, uh, I don't know how long this one's been wrestling, just because it just seems like she's very timid in a sense.
Yeah.
Um, I think if she was put in like a right system, like if they did decide, hey, we just want a mass person, we'll pick her up. If she had like a year or so in the Marigold dojo, I think she'd be alright. But once again, I don't know how many bookings she's getting in Sapporo because apparently she's just like local to Sapporo, so I don't know if she stretches out to working other parts of Japan. Because I don't think Sapporo has like a burgeoning wrestling company that runs regularly enough to where she can get good. But yeah, she made Megaton look like a star here. But I don't mind the Megaton singles matches just because they don't really overstay their welcome by any means, and it's just Rossi going, I wish I could book Yoniyama, but since I can't, I'm gonna make my own.
Yeah, I think I think Megaton, I enjoyed her a lot more when she was more of a loser.
Yeah.
She gets a little bit too much in nowadays, and they have her actually wrestling, and I'm like, you can just go back to like tapping out the second you get them to put into stuff. That was funny. You can be funny,
I
we don't
mean,
gotta wrestle.
that's probably what she'll do at like first stream. She might get like a bit of offense in, like a. Um, but
It would be insane if Suzuki sold more than Tokyo Kuroshio for Megaton.
if it's not him, I think it's just gonna be Kano, and I think that's hilarious. Kano kicking the shit out of Megaton.
Oh,
I'd
dude.
be in heaven. Um, but the thing is and it's crazy that Megaton has remained this over. Like I honestly still don't get it, but I do think there's use for Megaton, especially
Yeah,
if there's something I'm gonna pitch later. Because let's be honest, um, it's the trios belt, but
yeah.
I have a joke about that later on.
Okay.
Like she's never gonna be like an important champion or anything like that, but like you could do a Megaton trios title win to make everybody feel good, and I think that'd be probably her peak. But as far as just, you know, on the regular rotations of cards, this is probably the best I can ask. from Megaton on the house shows.
Yeah. Our next match then was Chikagoto and Manami Yuki going to a double countout with Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki. This was to protect the Twin Star challengers ahead of their match with Chiaki and Matsui, and it's also Nozaki isn't gonna take a fall because that's not her. That's not what she does.
You put some stars opposite of her, she probably would have, but
Maybe, yeah, no, not she isn't lying there for Manami Yuki. That's not happening. Yeah, it was. I mean, 14 minutes is a lot to ask. But I guess they just wanted to give Goto and Yuki some time as a tag team to kind of see how they do, and I think they used it to set Goto and Chiaki kind of up to carry the tag match. So like, it was kind of a means to an end more than anything.
I obviously, well, first of all, two Marigold shows means two matches to talk about the ace of fucking pro wrestling, Go Chica. So that's awesome. But obviously, I thought Chika Goto and Yuki Minami were actually like good in this match. It's just that I am never excited whenever I see it's a house show and Nozaki and Chiaki are attacking because I obviously like both a lot, but I already know what I'm getting on house shows from both of them, and it's not very much. Yuki Minami's just Tatsuhito Takaiwa apparently because she was caving in Nozaki's chest with the forearms, and I was like, this is what it's all about. And I'll compliment Chiaki because she's slowly adding moves to her offense, which is something she just needs to keep doing because she's been working really hard in like the big matches she's been given, but it's just a matter of she's so limited offensively that it really hampers what she can do as a heel who has to be in control of most of the match. But I mean, Go Chica and Yuki Minami have some nice double teams. I like the Russian leg sweep lariat combo. Chiaki saved her life because Go Chica was going for the Go Chica fly flow and she stopped her, and then Nozaki hurled a chair at her. So, is what it is. The double count out, obviously, can't ask Nozaki to take a pin. But secondly, I think Darkness Revolution just kind of do it wrong if they want to make that a thing. I don't know how familiar you are with M2K, but basically, M2K was the first. Well, I think it's the second, but I'm gonna say the first for now. The first big heel faction of Toymon. It was led by Masaki Mochizuki, and their whole gimmick was they planned on sending the fans home upset, so they were gonna try to do a double count out in every match they got in, which included main events, and that was just kind of their thing. Which I like as a heel thing, just as a attempt to sabotage matches. Like, we are going to send all of you home upset. We are not going to win. We are going to do a double count out. Nobody will win, and y'all just have to leave. But that's not how Darkness Revolution does it. They just kind of start that way, and then they try to get in the ring. And I'm just like, I don't know what y'all are trying to do. I really don't.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of focus sometimes. The Darkness Rev crew, because even like when they cheat, sometimes you're like, are you doing this to win, or are you just doing it because you want to be a Wado tie? It's sometimes I have my doubts about them, but they're a house show heel act. You gotta get in the bits for the local crowd.
You gotta pay Nozaki double to take a fall on a house show.
That's true, but they got set up Hikigoto and Chiaki. I assume they're gonna carry the majority of the Twin Star match because they were kind of going at it afterwards. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Hummingbird and Miku Aono beat Mai Sakurai and Naoya Ishikawa in 12.5 minutes in our next one. This is a very good preview tag. Miku has just discovered that she can kind of kick the shit out of Mai Sakurai, and it will work. And then I thought Naoya Ishikawa and Hummingbird did well in their bits as well. I really liked some of Nao's work with Aono. So just all around like a good tag match, and I think Aono and Mai, they're steadily building their matchup really, really well.
Yeah, for sure. Like the Miku kicks were disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, especially in that venue. And this was like a relatively lively crowd by house show standards, and those kicks just echoed, and the crowd was just like, "Oh shit." And I didn't really need Miku and Mai to kind of sell me on their title match because I think they are the best pairing in company history so far, and they still sold me on it because they don't have off switches apparently. They said, "Hey, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna beat the shit out of each other, we're gonna do some good work." And I agree with you. I did think at one point that Hummingbird was gonna do an Asai moonsault, and I almost had a stroke. I was like, "Bro, when did she do this?" And look, to what you said. I don't think it was a bad finishing stretch between Bird-san, as she's called on social media, and now. The only thing that's like wrong with Hummingbird is she just tries to do too much stuff that she very much isn't capable of doing. And that's really her biggest issue.
Kind of all or nothing, because she's either doing all that or she just is like grappling for a bit and then doing a flash pin. There's
Yeah,
very
and
little
she
in between.
and she doesn't have like a strong enough grappling base to where it's like, okay, this will work for you. So she's kind of like directionless in her style, but
Yeah.
she had a good performance here, and I think she had a good one later. So good little tag.
Yeah. I like now being with Mai a good bit after their match. I think it's a good kind of spot for her to fall into. It's definitely a lot better than the undercard mire that she was stuck in for a little bit there.
Yeah, now really just needs a tag partner consistently.
Yeah.
Mai's kind of in the same boat of Yuzuki, where she has so many tag partners. So I wouldn't I wouldn't really hitch my wagon to Mai in a sense if I'm looking to win tag titles.
Yeah, no, I think Mai will kind of be a bit too busy. But, if she loses in January, she might need a twin star reign. So then you can kind of rebound with now. Because Chanyota seems to have shacked up with Arena instead. So I think maybe there's an opening for now, but we'll have to wait and see if they want to do that. Because Rossi currently does not seem to want to do anything with now. So we'll have to wait and see. Um, Our next match was Komo Minami, Mayu Iwatani, and SYOKO Koshino beating Kazuna Tanaka, Seri Yamaoka, and Yuka Yamazaki in 13 minutes. This was so good. Mayu Iwatani had like one of her most revved up days since jumping to Marigold. She got to wrestle Seri and Yuka and was like, all right, I'm back. We're locking the fuck in. She kicked Yuka so hard at one point that even Tommy was like, oh god, that hurt.
Yeah,
And just everybody did really well in this. Seri, I thought, stood up to Mayu really well and looked like a star. Yuki Yamazaki, everything she was tasked with doing, she did really well. I thought Syoko didn't look too bad, considering kind of, I think she gets a lot of criticism kind of for being really new, but I think she's a lot better than a lot of wrestlers
yeah,
would be at that point. So that was a really well done tag match.
yeah. I think I texted uh everybody, and I was just like, this was a really good trios match just to be in Sapporo. Everybody came to work. The Kids Sayori and Yuka pose at the beginning during the ring introductions did it for me. Say hello to your musicians of Marigold Trios champions. Um, um, Not only did I think this was a good trios match, but like you said, I think this was an actively good Mai performance. She was
Mhm.
working hard opposite the young Jin. She did that the entire GP, so that's not a shocker, but it's the fact that it's just a house show semi main with no stakes added that she decided to turn it on. Sayuri, I don't know if you saw this, but she invented the diving shoulder block headbutt combination. To show
She's doing shit
Shoko.
sometimes.
I have Kazuna's a prick because her and Shoko were or Shioko were trading forearms. Well, Shioko was trading forearms, and Kazuna just fucking elbows her repeatedly in the chest. And I was like, okay, man, you ain't got to do that to her. She's trying to, do an exchange. I love the fact that the Mayu led team's big trios move was a double bulldog out of a wheelbarrow facebuster, while the youngins' big trios tandem move was codebreaker to missile springboard missile dropkick to Busaiku knee. um, Big Shoke won with the Texas Cloverleaf. I don't know if you saw it on in the backstage comments, but she said she wants to incorporate some more classical wrestling into her offense. And do you know what I think is classical? Shinjiro Otani tape. So she should do the spiral power bomb.
Do you want to kill Yuzuki? Oh no.
Bro, Yuzuki will take us. We'll talk about it later, but she will
It
take a
wouldn't
spiral
go
power
well.
bomb.
I don't think it would
Yeah.
go well. I don't think we need injuries.
Bro, that's the story of Yuzuki's matches and stuff she tries. I don't think it'll go well. It'll be fine.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I guess. Syoko is cool. She won.
Yeah.
We
I
we'll
can't
get
wait till we talk
more with
about
her.
the polarizing aspect of what she decides to do on day two. So,
Yeah. Our main event then for this one was the Marigold United National Championship match. Yuzuki defended against Misa Matsui in 15 and a half minutes. I thought it was a very good match, but I do think Matsui, I don't know, there was like an excellence to her in year one of Marigold that she's kind of
Mhm.
let go for being a limb work figure four like lock type, and she's still good.
Ah,
She's still very good, but I think a lot of the like creativity and fluidity that she used to have isn't there as much. And so it's kind of like this was very good, but year one Matsui probably would have had a better match with this version of Yuzuki.
I disagree, but also I am a kind of Mario head, so I appreciate the art of limb work. Um, and honestly, I thought the problem for me with this match was Yuzuki, not really Matsui. Just because I think my problem with the Yuzuki title run so far is just it feels to me that each defense that I've watched is the challenger is stepping up more than Yuzuki is,
Yeah.
which is good from the perspective of you want people to rise to the occasion. However, I think it's a far cry from that performance Yuzuki had versus Mai to where we come
Mm.
out of it going, oh my God, she's more than ready for this run. This is gonna be a good run for her. We really haven't seen any near glimpses of that within these first two defenses. Um, I do like the spot where Misa was going for the Maru Maru suplex and Yuzuki was fighting it. And because, Misa had been working over the leg, she just slammed her specifically down on the leg. She was working to jam it and affect her mobility. Thought Yuzuki did a good selling job there. There was a great near fall toward the end for the diving stomp. The crowd really got into it by the end of it, which was a real good saving grace for the match. Um, and once again, to theme of Yuzuki's matches, her and Misa both spiked themselves on a Spanish fly, which I thought was pretty sick. Yuzuki won with your favorite finisher in Marigold.
Oh man, the spiral tap almost looks like she's gonna drop her entire body weight in her opponent's midsection. Yeah, it's I don't know.
Listen, man, this is what it is.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like it's one of those that she's gonna have to stop doing if she's just not gonna hit it clean, because somebody eventually is gonna get hurt, and Rossi will be like, okay, you can't do that, because he let Hazuki try the shooting star press until she
Yeah,
almost domed herself, and he was like, listen, we can't be doing that, all right?
it's gonna take one of those for them to tell her to stop because,
Yeah.
and this is the thing that I always am like iffy about Yuzuki about is all of her favorite wrestlers, well, all the people she said she's inspired by, Mayu not included because Mayu has so much more to her game than just flying, are all super athletic high flyers, and Yuzuki's not that athletic. So she really can't do stuff with the fluidity of some of the people that she's inspired by. So it always, isn't going to end up great whenever she's trying these things. It's just one of those things where she'll have to either keep working on them or just take them out completely and move into a different direction, which I think she will as she gets older because I don't think she'll be able to do this type of reckless abandonment style like past like 22, 23.
Yeah, and I think the problem is she is good at a lot of that stuff. Like
Yeah.
her early Stardom run was a lot more grounded, and I thought she was quite good there. And she was an archer in a past life, not a gymnast or anything. Um, and while she has definitely sped up, and she can do some cool stuff, I think the moonsault, the trio of moonsaults, is a good finish. I wouldn't mind
Hmm.
if that came back. She definitely is good at like standing and trading and like beating
Hmm.
the shit out of people and being a bit nasty. And if she wants to do that a little bit more, I
Hmm.
wouldn't complain. I don't think she needs to do a lot of stuff she's doing, but this is kind of the direction she wants to go in currently. So
I just think she needs to find a secondary base style that isn't
yeah.
just relied on her needing to do super athletic stuff. Which I mean, everybody in her generation kind of had to figure that out.
Mhm.
Uh, like Kazuna, where she didn't have a defined style coming over from Wave, which I mean, Wave Dojo in the modern era is a different story in itself. But just one of those things where she was like, oh well, my dad and my mom were like shooters. Maybe I should like do kicks and stuff. Or there, Sayuri came in with a base style, but she had to, get better at it as time goes on, and she
Mhm.
understood wrestling more. I think it's just one of those things where she'll have to find some. Even Rhea, I think Rhea is probably the best example I can give when going against Suzuki's base style and their title match specifically, where I thought Rhea was just excellent and showcasing her style on a big match stage, and Yuzuki just kind of really hoed her and how she was a bad dance partner on that specific night.
Yeah, I really love that Rhea performance in that one. And Yuzuki just kind of babyface hulked up and won. And I was like, oh, Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
I could also see if people don't like Yuzuki because of her Hulk ups, because she's got some bad ones. She
Yeah,
got some real bad ones where she'll get she'll get dropped right on her neck and she'll just
this is the Julia promotion after all.
Yeah,
Well,
no, for
gotta keep
sure.
some of that going, but yeah, I don't know. I think both of them can be a lot better than they were here, but I
For
suppose it
sure.
is
I
Sapporo.
think I like their Superfly title match more.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot more like prime Matsui. I think she was better there, and Yuzuki was a little bit more reined in, I guess is probably the best way to put it. But it was a very good match anyway. I don't want to criticize them
Yeah.
too much. It wasn't Sapporo.
It
They're not
wasn't
going to get
bad.
dressed. Yeah, it was a good effort. Um, the next show then was also in the APA Hotel and Resort in Sapporo and did 405 fans. And we opened with Naoshikawa beating Gaki Nyan Cayman. This was 9 minutes. I was hoping to watch it, but I just couldn't. I didn't really have the time. But I would be
I
fascinated to see how Cayman does in a 9 minute match.
Yeah, I might go back. I told you I skipped the first three because listen, just so you know, I'm not like super positive on Mario because I'm sure there's gonna be people like, hey, get this like Mario truther off the podcast or something. But I looked at those first three matches and I say none of these interest me. I can't watch these. That and just the timing thing, like them dropping two shows VOD on the day of recording isn't
Yeah,
ideal.
great.
Um, but I will probably go back and watch this one just to see how Common does in the 9 minute singles, like you said, to see if there's any legs to where it'd be like, okay, if not poaching, because Rossi has said he has never poached ever in his life. So if he ever wanted to, get her under a contract, would it work or not?
Yeah, I feel like he might force it anyway, but we'd have to wait and see. Um, uh, I did watch the next one. Komomo Manami beat Megaton in just under 10 minutes. I don't know why I watched this, but I was fascinated. I thought it was good. Like it was kind of funny. Like Komomo
Hmm.
was running around a lot and was like going outside and inside and going
Yeah.
back outside, and Megaton was just like, "Please stop running!" And eventually, she was able to catch Manami and got her offense in. But I just thought it was really funny that for a while Komomo was like, "Look, you
Just
can't
running.
keep up. I'm gonna run. Like I might as well." And she was so
Yeah.
mean about it too. It was fun, but yeah, definitely one of the more fun kind of Megaton matches since the Suzuki one.
I mean,
Um,
Suzuki's gonna end up on your Marigold Match of the Year list, and I'm excited for that.
as he should. Megaton carried him to greatness. Um, we then had SYOKO Koshino beat Chiaki in just under 10 minutes. This was pretty solid. I wanted to just see what Koshino is like in singles situations.
I don't
I
know if Chiaki would have been my best bet.
no, it was definitely like a litmus test though. Like, can you have a fine
Yeah,
match with Chiaki? I thought
yeah,
it
I
was
can say.
solid. Syoko's like forearms, I think, are good. I think everybody across both shows had really good forearms. Those have
Hmm.
definitely improved. And some of the work was good. Like the finish was like they traded flash pins until Syoko
Hmm.
got Chiaki, and that looked really well. So yeah, it was solid. I wouldn't trust Chiaki to carry most people, but I think
Hmm.
Syoko kind of delivering anything in this scenario is a positive sign. So I would say
Hmm.
thumbs up. I don't know if she challenged after this or was after the tag. I think it was after the tag. So we'll do that.
I think it was here because I think I
Was it?
vaguely remember Yuzuki being in a shirt whenever she did it.
Right. Okay. So after this one, Syoko Koshino challenged Victoria Yuzuki for United National Championship match. I just want to say I called this weeks ago.
You
Uh,
did, nah.
like there was no way Rossi had her win a match instead of Mayu without a clear idea of something for Syoko.
Yeah, nah.
Uh,
You were in your bag with this one.
yeah, like she was unbeaten up until that point. Like there, Rossi is not very subtle when he really likes a
Yeah.
wrestler. So I kind of knew something was coming. And so when she challenged Yuzuki, I was like, listen, I told the world, I tried to warn you all, but here
Mhm.
we are. And on the topic of that, I would be such a hypocrite if I complained about this because I have complained a lot about Rossi not elevating people and
Yeah,
not
you would.
like I've complained about him not doing that kind of booking where somebody goes
Yeah.
unbeaten and feels important and all that kind of stuff. So I would be a real hypocrite to criticize it now that he has done it with SYOKO, because from the
Yeah,
moment she re-debuted, he's basically been like, she is important if you pay attention. Like, just
yeah,
watch
for
her
sure.
do it.
I
So,
mean, she got a big rollout, even though she allegedly worked on shows before. Um, just got this whole big re-debut. You know, they try to make her look good. She got the win in that random tag turmoil thing they did. Um, to me, I think it's also to your point. Rossi's not subtle in the sense of he will let you know when he likes somebody and when he's trying to push somebody. But also, I think it's polarizing for a lot of people is this match being at First Dream. And funnily enough, for those people that really miss Dylan, Dylan actually had a point of contention where he just didn't like it was at First Dream, and I just brought up the point that hey, they have a lot of pay per views next year, so you
mhm.
know, and I need people to also understand most of this white belt scene are in Sayri's anniversary match. like they don't have challengers. And you also don't have a lot of time with Shoko. I don't want to be that guy, but she's already 37. She already had like her back taped up on one of the previous house shows, so they probably know their window is very, very short with her. So I am not upset at them going, okay, we got to put her out there, sink or swim. We just have to try something with her so we can try to make something out of her fast with the little bit of time that we have. And you know, it's a good spot because Yuzuki and Shioko won't be tasked with being the main attraction for First Stream. They don't have to worry about that. You have the GHC match, you have the Red Belt match. They don't have to worry about being in any important spot whatsoever. They just have to worry about, you know, doing a good job and putting together, you know, a good, capable match. Um, and for what it's worth, and once again, I want to say all this is alleged. We do not have proof. I like the Flying Penguin versus Mayu match a lot. I think it was really good. It was a really good Flying Penguin performance, who some say are similar to Shioko. Um, the only point of contention I have with this title match is I think it's a good idea to try and make somebody be somewhat important off the bat. I think it's super risky having her make or break match be opposite Yuzuki because Yuzuki's so erratic to the point that I don't know if I can trust her to take care of Shioko and at least get her to something, you know, passable. I think that is where my point of contention is, at where I do think it's a bit risky. But once again, since there's so many other big matches on the show, they don't really have to worry about doing anything crazy. So I guess it'll all work itself out. But you know, I'm a fan of the move. Like I said, I think Shioko can be good. I think the style she's trying to incorporate into her game is going to be something that'll age very well. So she won't have to worry about, you know, um, putting her body at too much risk. So you know, I'm open to it. It's good. It gets a thumbs up from me.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is just Rossi. This is how he operates. This
Yeah,
guy had Unagi in white belt matches long
yeah,
before he was ready. He is so willing to take risks. You know, he had
yeah.
Koki and Chica wrestle in a singles match, you know, toward when people were still unsure on both of them. Like, this is just what he does. And if SYOKO comes away from that match with any sort of momentum, I think that's good for him and good for Marigold. I mean, Dylan has kind of said before, like, the only person that can really elevate anybody in the mid card is Nozaki, and you cannot have everybody beat Nozaki or it stops working. Whereas at
Yeah.
least if
You can't have
Kushino,
anybody beat Nosaki anyway, let alone.
doesn't seem
like,
like it.
yeah.
But at least if Kushino, you know, feels important, has a really good match with
Hmm.
Yuzuki, establishes herself as something in the upper card, then you can
Hmm.
use her then to put over kind of your next generation. Because eventually you are going to have people for Seri to beat on her way up, or for Komomanami to beat on her way up. And SYOKO can
And
definitely be that.
that's another thing is if you pay not if you just look at Sayri's anniversary match, but also like her social media, she's very, very open about the people she want opposite of her going forward,
Mm.
of her generation. Like it's basically everybody in that anniversary match, and there's obviously, you know, Izuki and Rhea's also probably included in that as well. It's very open that this young core kind of understands that they all need to rely on each other and eventually be the ones to, carry the torch and be at the top of the card. It's just a matter of getting them there. And I do think that's something they'll have to do a lot in 2026 is taking that next step to elevate people up the card. Because I mean, we've talked about kids challenging in private. Like she's one. She granted she came off a back injury, but she finished with 2 points, two GPs in a row. Like you gotta or no, did she go winless this year or did she get a win? She got a win, right?
I think she got one. Yeah, Rossi
She
usually
got
lets
one.
somebody
Yeah,
won.
she got one. You can't do that forever. Komomo seems like she's starting to get some motion up the card. Yuki Minami's getting her first big spot. Like it slowly started to happen, but you got to be consistent because
Mhm.
Rossi and a lot of bookers really, but Rossi he's notorious in it. Just because he has periods where he just flat out doesn't care. They will get these opportunities, and then like 6 months from now, they'll be right back to where they were.
Yeah, he's you sometimes bring it up. It's quite morbid. Where Rossi was like, "This might be the last time I ever move," and sometimes like, does he care about like 3 years from now, Marigold, or is he just kind
Yeah,
of like that's somebody else's problem? I'm just here to book my EO matches. Like I don't give a shit. And it's like kind of hard to think about sometimes, but
yeah.
maybe that is his mindset. Like maybe he's just like I don't care. I want to book Mayu. You know?
I mean, I think yes and no because um and I really don't want to praise Rossi too much because I'll have like AW and Stardom fans attacking me in my DMs, calling me all crazy names. But one thing that I don't think a lot of people understand, but it is something that is very obvious if you've seen any interviews, is a lot of the reasons that Marigold can accumulate all this young talent and second generation talent is just for the simple fact that the parents of a lot of these young wrestlers believe that Rossi can make their kid a star, and he can. It's just a matter of him putting the time and effort, and I do think he's struggling because he has all these good young pieces at once, and he's still accumulating more. That it's kind of hard for him to distribute everything evenly to where they all feel important. But hey, that comes with the territory of being a wrestling booker. So I'm sure it'll all eventually work itself out, but it's just one of those things he needs to get a move on now, just so
Mhm.
you have a proper, main event scene, a proper mid card, and so forth and so on.
Yeah, for sure. And like we know he can do it. So I think that's sometimes the most frustrating part is like we've seen him book really well and have that kind of structure and it all works and flows really well. Kind of like, 2018, 2019 Stardom. I know we go
Hmm.
back to it a lot, but that was probably the ideal for how Rossi tends to book with his monthly Corkins and the
Hmm.
occasional big show and kind of people being elevated and moved down as they need. Like that was
Hmm.
his best period. And you would hope that Marigold could eventually look a lot more like that than what it is now, where he's kind of like,
I think
"Did I have 4 points?"
also, I think also he's probably just scared to let his main eventers lose because if there's one thing I will say about the main event scene in Margot as it stands, and when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about um, Mai, Miku, Tommy, Mayu, they have no problem with losing to people deemed lower than them on the card.
Mm,
It's just that there's usually not a real follow up. So it's just, I mean, I guess the only instance where it's not true for Mayu, because I mean, she does rarely lose, but she was willing to lose to Sayuri in the opening night. I think it's just her proteges is probably where she draws the line, where she's just got to keep beating them until it's important enough to where they can get their wins back. Um, but it's just, it feels like he's probably too scared to do that just because he doesn't have a big, fruitful main event scene. So it's like, well, if they lose to this person, they probably won't be viewed at in the same light, which I don't like that mindset because sometimes, people just got to lose. It is what it is.
yeah, I think that comes with the 4 pay-per-view thing that I
Mm.
bring up a lot. It does kind of handcuff what he can do in my eyes, but you know,
Mhm.
Dylan said I was wrong, so maybe I'm wrong. Um, our next match, anyway, on this show was Misa Matsui and Nagisa Nozaki beating Kazuna Tanaka and Yuki Yamazaki in 10 minutes. I didn't get to watch this one.
I did. So,
All right, take it away.
yeah, and I believe that's Slap in the Box Matsui, by the way, of Sukipan fame.
Was she on that?
Um, Yeah, I believe she was on. If she wasn't on the, no, she actually might have not been on the Miami show because I believe that's where Rhea was. But she does exist in the universe still. Um, Basically, Yuka and Kazuna are the Steve Nash Phoenix Suns of this roster because they said, let's just push the pace the entire match. But this was a really good performance by Yuka and Kiz. Obviously, you can't ask for much from Nozaki on these house shows, but I did think Misa did a good little role in being more aggressive coming off a title loss earlier in the day. So I thought that was good. And I mean, Nagisa, she tried as hard as she will on a house show. I guess I forget that Kazuna was in the Wave Dojo around the time Nozaki was the big boss, and probably feels a soft spot for her. And but Yuka and Kids were trying to put in some work. Love Yuka Yamazaki. I do think she might have an issue of just being. I don't want to say she's just too short, but I don't really know where you can put her long term. Just because, I mean, there's other smaller people of her generation, but there's also different attachments with all of them. Kiss, for example, she's second generation. She, her father's legend. They built the big second generation thing with her and Shino. Obviously, Shino, super rookie, second generation. Seiri, ultimate super rookie. Kamomo, she's a Mayu protege. Mad Dog doesn't really have that. So like it's hard to see where she places as far as whenever this young generation are at the peak of their powers. But I hope I mean, I would love she got the world title, I wouldn't complain, but I do hope that she can at least be a fixture in the UN scene when the time comes because I think Yuki Yamazaki is really good.
With Yuki, I believe her sister is training, and so I could
Hmm.
see them being like twin star champions maybe
Ah,
within the
yeah, yeah,
season,
yeah.
maybe.
Well, I'm just thinking like absolute peak of like whenever I'm thinking about the young generation, I'm progressing like what can be their peak. And it just feels like every other member of her generation has that little extra to where it's like, okay, they can be in the world title scene if they really wanted.
Mm. Yeah, she seems like a UN challenger for life with the occasional twin star reign, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but definitely I think for her talent, some people might want more because she
Mm.
is quite good for her level. Like I think she's a real glue kind of wrestler, somebody who you could just throw in there with anybody and she'd make it
I
work.
think she really holds together like the undercards and mid cards really well. Um, kind of hope she does get some bigger spots next year, but once again, she's still a rookie, so who knows if you know she gets any progression within the next year. But I hope so. Once again, she's really good.
Yeah. Um, we then had Chikagoto, Mikue Ono, and Minami Yuki beating Mai Sakurai, Seri Yamaoka, and Victoria Yuzuki in just under 16 minutes. Again, a very good trios match. Mikue Ono and Mai Sakurai did the thing, and then Chikagoto and Yuki did some fun tag stuff in there,
Hmm.
which they didn't need to. And Seri and Yuzuki debuted a tag move after
Hmm.
their Twin Star
I, s-
challenge, but it was
I
pretty sick.
swear, no, I swear I've seen them. If you're talking about the back suplex diving lariat thing, I've seen them do that before.
Really, they didn't. I don't think they did it in their
I
title
don't
match.
I don't know if they did it in their title match, but I've seen them do it before.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. Um, but yeah, I don't know. My Sakurai, another good one.
Oh man, this is awesome. I genuinely, and not to say the title matches were bad because I like both title matches, but I think the trios matches that were positioned in the semi main spot on each show are my two favorite things from this loop. Just because, and it's funny enough, Sari was in both, but for some reason in both these semi main trios matches, everybody decided, all right, let's go to work here. Let's give everybody a show. They got some time and they were able to do some good work. This company needed to exist for things like Yuki Minami trying to hold her own on the mat with Sari Yamaoka and failing miserably. um, but with that being said, I do think Yuki Minami has improved a lot. It's just that she's not as flashy as her other inexperienced peers who've shown they have another gear or two to get to. While this is the first time she's been in the rotation to do something important, so now the spotlight's on her. But I think she's getting better. I think she just needs to hit people really hard, man. I'm gonna be honest. I just think she just needs to hit people super hard. And I think I saw everything in this match to know that Yuzuki just needs to hand that pure white belt over to Go Chica and go figure it out. um, and like you said, Miku and Mai back at it again, beating the dog shit out of each other. Mai she did a arm tracked abdominal stretch in this match, and I said, "Eat your heart out, Julia. This is a real technician." And if you need any more of a stamp of approval that this match was awesome, we got an Avalanche Styles clash in the semi-main event of Sapporo.
Yes. That was nuts. Just
I
said,
saw
yeah,
that.
finished.
I thought they were doing the super power bomb joint, and I was just like, okay, that's already a crazy move for them to do. And then I saw Aono setting up for it. I was like, bro, what? Why are we doing this?
Because they're the best pairing.
Yeah, man, they're a lot, bro. I'm excited. I hope they get, you know, reasonable time. I won't say a lot of time because not every match needs to be long, but
Yeah.
I liked their first dream match last year. I just hope they get enough to work with where they can surpass that because I've loved both of the previews off of this loop.
On the topic of Yuzuki as well, I did quite like her response to SYOKO. I didn't bring it up, but when SYOKO asked for a title match, she was kind of like, "Well, you're too new. I don't think new people should deserve title matches. You have to earn it. So we're gonna do a trios match before I like accept
Yeah,
your challenge." And she seemed more pissed off at SYOKO for challenging her than Rhea Seto, who turned heel on her. Like she was actively miffed that this newcomer wanted her belt. It was incredible. And that's kind of what I want to see more of from Yuzuki. I
yeah,
quite like that kind of mean streak to her. It's the one thing that's been missing since the Mai Sakurai match. Like that was a very intense Yuzuki, and she
yeah.
really hasn't brought that out since. Now maybe
I,
she's saving it for SYOKO. I don't know.
I mean this in the like nicest of ways because I'm sure Yuzuki's a wonderful person, but in a wrestling sense, she's not a great person at all. Like she
No.
is meant to be a prick. Like this is just what it is. Like the way she carries herself, uh she has a lot of confidence, and I think that can come across from the product that she just feels like she's just so much further ahead of everybody. I mean, she bought this very expensive pair of glasses worn by G Dragon. Everything about her is meant to be. I don't want to say heel, but she's just meant to be a dickhead. She's meant to be
Yeah.
like early Queen or White Belt Queen's Quest Momo, where Momo beats Jungle Kiona and Nagoya and then tells her family to clap for her. Like she's meant to do that.
Yeah, that she did it with SYOKO, and I quite liked it.
Yeah.
I'm all
I
for I'm
Yeah,
all
go
for
ahead.
wrestlers having to earn title matches. It's one of my favorite things about Pure J. I feel in Pure J
Yeah.
you rarely get handed a title match. You have to have like either a singles match or you have to win a tag or just something. And Stardom just did it with Iida and Ami, and I think
Yeah.
it's good for Marigold to kind of do that. Now, obviously, I have criticized them before for doing that, but that's because they drag it out for 4 months for the world title. If you give
Yeah,
me
no.
2 or 3 weeks of the wrestler earning it, that's fine. I don't need to wait 3 months. So I do like Yuzuki being like, all right, we're gonna wrestle on the next show. If you beat me there, then we can have the title match. I think
I
that's
don't
good.
I think like proving ground number one contenders type matches just aren't really done enough. I mean, you mentioned
Yeah,
how like Pure J you earn a shot and all that, but I just think that more companies should do them because it's a smart way to feel like tours you don't really care about or don't really want to put a lot of effort in. Just set up a number one contenders match, and that'll be the big selling point for the tour and all that. And also it works in this case because once again we talked about how people are probably iffy on Shioko challenging at first stream. At least in the kayfabe sense, she comes out here, she earns it, and now we have a reason to have this match properly.
yeah, for sure. We then got on to our main event, which was for the Superfly Championship. Mayu Iwatani defended against Hummingbird in just under 13 minutes. Career effort for Hummingbird, definitely
Mhm.
much better than any match she's had so far, and much better than her debut for this title.
I think
But
y'all are wrong.
a Mayu standout Mayu performance, just one
Hmm.
of those that only she can do. It's flipped so many switches, kind of just naturally, like the way she just went from the good high speed wrestling to just kicking Hummingbird in the face like it was nothing to challenging Hummingbird and daring her to hit her back. Like she
Hmm.
just cycles through the gears seamlessly, and it is
Hmm.
insane to watch when she's on her peak form.
Listen, man, she got that EO match and said, "Okay, that was fun. I got to beat the shit out of everybody on this roster now." And listen, I'm thankful for it. I think Mayu's had a pretty good year. Hasn't had too many super standout matches. She did kind of take backseat whenever she swapped over, and even then, in her last little bit in Stardom, she was having the occasional IWGP match, but I think by design, probably her own wishes, she wasn't really doing anything important.
Hmm.
But this was great. Obviously, career best Hummingbird match of all time. I will let people know I like the Hummingbird debut. Man, listen, CTE graphs is where it's at, bro. Listen, I thought that was sick. Okay, but from an actual match quality perspective, this was obviously the best performance for her. Mayu was I love the point where Mayu was just being a dickhead. She was like telling her to come on and then kicking her and just like belittling her. I like the spot where Hummingbird had in the bird clip, and Mayu was trying to reach the ropes with her foot, and then so Hummingbird just trapped her legs or used her legs to trap her legs she was trying to reach for the rope with and pulled it back to her body. It was nice. Mayu was stiffing her with the forearms, had some nice near falls, especially from Hummingbird on the Japanese leg roll clutch. And then she had a really good high kick in this one. I was like, brother, why haven't you been doing that the whole time? It's like, come on, man. Um, just a good little back and forth. I love Mayu popping her off her shoulders because she went for that weird like victory roll thing that I don't think she actually quite knows how to do, but she beat now with it. Mayu just popping her off and super kicking her was awesome, and then the rebound German was even better. Mayu finishes off with the moonsault. This is a good match, man. This probably does. I don't think it'll do too much for Hummingbird, but it probably does more than what she's been doing. I mean, Mayu or not Mayu, Rossi praised it on Twitter, so maybe she gets a little more love on the undercard. Maybe she gets more wins. Who knows?
Well, maybe, I don't know, or she just goes back to the limbo of with Kazuna, but who knows? I think to some degree this was almost meant to be a star-making performance, but then Mayu just kind of was so good that it was like, yeah, well, Mayu's awesome rather than Hummingbird's awesome.
Unfortunately,
Even
that's just what it was.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Hummingbird was good, don't get me wrong, but it's just that the Mayu performance was great.
yeah. And Hummingbird did do some cool stuff. I thought her almost dying on the moonsault, or not even a
Mhm,
moonsault. She just like flew backwards in a
mhm,
crossbody of sorts. Like and that was cool. But yeah, she just like Mayu just brought so much to the table here that she just kind of outclassed her, which is kind of a what this belt has been. She's
yeah,
kind of just been working down to everybody, while being so much better than them, which makes
yeah,
it fascinating that Komomo Minami is the next challenger. She challenged after this one, and
mhm,
I have no idea how that match is gonna go because if like Mayu loves to beat the shit out of her proteges. That is her
yeah,
thing. You like she in their eyes is the mountain to climb, and this is gonna
yeah.
be her first time facing Komo Manami in a singles, as far as I can remember.
Mhm.
So she might just like annihilate this poor girl and be like, "You
Bell's
are
gonna
not
ring
on
and
the level."
Bell's gonna ring and she's gonna punch her in the face. That's what's gonna happen.
Yes.
um, it's a good challenger. I imagine that if it's not on do they have a Corkin?
Yeah. Just a few days before first stream, I think.
Okay, so
A
it'll
week.
probably be there because I was like, they'll
Yeah.
probably be on the face with the twin star, but I couldn't remember if they had a Corkin or not. But it's a good next challenger. I always thought for some reason, and I just forget that Chigusa Nagayo hates Miya Momono.
Mhm.
Um, but she does a good job in reminding me if that helps. I always thought that Mayu would just kind of win here, and she would defend against Mio at the Marvelous Corkin since they were doing Seiri Senka there,
Yeah.
and she just drop it off there, and they could do a whole big angle where Takumi's like, bro. Mio beat you. You're not beating me at first stream. She very much is, by the way. Um, and you could do a little cool thing like that. And I was like, damn, I forgot. Mio Momono does not matter in her own company. So like, yeah, that's just not the case. We're just not gonna get that match apparently. Um, but and with that being said, I don't really know where the end for Mayu is for the Superfly title because like, who's gonna beat her if we're not doing the Mio thing? Like,
Yeah.
her
It's
her whole theme is just fighting the young gen, and they're not beating her.
no.
It would be hilarious if she let Komomo beat her and just a huge slap in the face to Yuzuki, which would be funny. But that's not happening. It's ultimately, like you said, she's their mountain to climb, so she's going to beat the brakes off of Komomo. So I honestly am clueless if that's not where they go. So
Yeah, I don't really know because unless they signed somebody, there's just nobody that fits the Superfly mold that
mhm.
would like Mayu would lose to normally. And now they could do a three-way and kind of
Mhm.
reho their way out of it, kind of like they do with her.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think was it Peps or Velke was like maybe she just vacates at a certain point. Like she wins the
That's possible.
GHC and vacates and is like, look, I've done it all. I think that would be really bad though. I don't think she should
Yeah.
vacate. It would be quite annoying, but that could just be it. I mean, she did vacate the SWA for bigger things, so Rossi
The
doesn't
Superfly
seem to
is the
care about that.
SWA. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
pretty much. Like I don't know.
I mean, let's see.
You should get Mila Grace back in. She's a
Okay.
TV
All
star
right,
now,
all
right?
right, okay,
She
okay.
can win. She can beat Mayu.
Let's calm down there. When's Mia Momo's contract up?
I don't think the guy will let them out of those deals all that easy.
Bro, she probably just give it to him for free. Like, oh, word, you
I
want
don't
it?
know. She'd need an 18-month probation, like
Uh,
Koraku.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, ideally, this belt should be a young generation belt, but
Yeah.
I understand why Mayu had to win it because she's gonna win all of the belts. So, um, it's just a matter of how we get it off of her now. Like, there's nobody in the main event scene that necessarily meets the Superfly standards. So it's kind of booking themselves in a hole, but like you said, they can do a three-way and get out of it. Like when Death Yamasan won the high speed title and they zoomed in on Hazuki on the outside, absolutely fucking pissed.
That was great.
Yeah.
Um, that's all for the review. The review section. We do have 3 shows to preview that we can go through. We have Marigold True Victory 2025 in Shinjuku Face on the 10th. We open with Kazuna Tanaka taking on Komomo Minami. In the ultimate form of humiliation, Kazuna Tanaka will stare at the lights for Komomo.
I hate this. You know what? I'm not watching any wrestling but Pure J and Dragon Gate next year. Everybody else, I'm done. This is my John Cena farewell tour. Can't
That
get
was
shit,
wild.
bro.
Megaton takes on Chanyota. I don't. I would love to know how many times Chanyota has faced Megaton because I swear to God, every tag she used to do was against Darkness Rev. So she has definitely wrestled Megaton like a half dozen times at the very least. But she's gonna win here. I hope.
Yeah, she's got a world title run coming up, of course.
That's true. Now Ishikawa and Nagisa Tachibana take on Arini Yamanaka and Hummingbird. I think Hummingbird probably actually this changed, didn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
this is
three-way because
Ishikawa.
Tachibana's still out.
Yes.
Tachibana said she's aiming to be back for her first anniversary, but she's not. I mean, she said her condition's improving, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah, it seems very bad that she's having blood pressure problems.
Hmm.
That seems like the kind of thing that would put an end to your career eventually.
She's
But
she's the last Hooper left in this company because, brother, I didn't know this until obviously we got the diagnosis, but Shawty had double blurred vision and she was doing springboards and said, "Fuck it, one of these ropes are right." Like, come on, she's the last real wrestler this company has.
yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Um, so it's 3-way that Arena Yamanaka probably wins. I still think she's gonna wait. No, she can't challenge for the Twin Stars anymore. She might. They might do it at Corkin. I don't know.
Yeah, they can do the world. They can do the world's hottest tag team, challenging either at Cork or at First Dream. I
Yeah.
mean,
See,
you could.
I think Koki's
Huh?
gonna do the first stream.
Yeah, I also think she'll be back for that. But I mean, what does Utami do on First Dream?
Um, she might just be in a tag with Sari or something. I assume Sari is gonna be on that show.
That's fair. Oh my god, they should do a Sorry singles match and Sorry just fucking steamrolls her. That'd be
That was
awesome.
sick. Yeah, Utami.
Like, dang,
Stares
bro,
at
you couldn't actually become an ace while I was gone, bro. I was gone a whole year, bro. I lost on a New Japan show, and you just couldn't hang it up back here, bro. Like, it's what's up.
That'll be sick. Yeah. Um, Speaking of Utami, she's in her next match. It's her comeback match. Her and Yuki Yamazaki against Nagisa Nozaki and Rhea Seto. That's a good way to ease her back in. They can do some brawling. Rhea and Yuka can do some ground stuff. Maybe
Hmm.
Utami does ground stuff with Rhea. And then she probably just powers up and power bombs the shit out of Rhea and wins.
Nah, you could probably stares at the lights.
For Nozaki?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Mayu Iwatani, Mai Sakurai, and SYOKO Koshino take on Miko Ono, Victoria Yuzuki, and Seri Yamioka. I guess he's going 15. They could do SYOKO and Yuzuki fighting at the end, and neither of them wins. And then Yuzuki says, "Okay, you can challenge."
SYOKO could just win. I mean,
Yeah, I've been very anti 50-50ing though, so
yeah, that's fair.
I'm not a fan of pinning the
I
champion.
don't know because like, who else is on the Yuzuki team again?
Miku and Seri. So
Ah,
the
yeah,
two people who
she ain't beating
definitely
him
will
out.
never lose to SYOKO, yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
I don't know because like, does a draw really establish her?
I think so. If she like fights hard enough, they can kind of
Okay, that's
settle it as
fair.
that. So maybe, and it's Rossi. He has to get his
Yeah,
draw in there somewhere.
that's fair.
Our main event then is for the twin star titles. Misa Matsui and Chiaki defend against Chikugoto and Minami Yuki. I'm pretty set on Matsui and Chiaki winning, and then Koki comes out and is like, "Listen, Chika, you and I are the ones to do this. Let's challenge a first stream, and then Twin Tower win."
I'm in the same boat. It's funny that Kochika's gonna win the tag titles with the worst tag partner. But I'm here for the Chika go to title run no matter what. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, if she's not going to beat Sari like I dreamed of for the UN
Yeah,
title, then we
man.
got to do this. You know,
Oh, buddy, we're still doing that. We're doing the Muto All Japan run where he just won all the belts. Like
Okay,
that's what
all
we're
right,
doing.
I'm into it. Sick. Um, yeah, that's all for the first stream show. There is then. Oh no, it's gone. I hate using Twitter for match graphics because it will just disappear and reset.
You don't ever
Um,
bookmark them, or
I didn't because I thought they would be fine, but I was wrong. My goodness. You know, for all the talk of Sonny not doing anything, Rossi never stops tweeting on this account. Like, dude, you are old. Do your fingers not have like arthritis? Please stop. Okay. So on the 13th, we have Marigold True Victory in the worst venue in Japan, the Osaka 176 box. We open with Seri Yamaoka and Shino taking on Kazuna and Komomo. That's why Kazuna, get out of the way. The real stars are here. Shino should pin her and get revenge for putting her over in Sumo Hall. You should be like that.
Kazuna, come to Pure J, bro. We'll never treat you like this. You and Hanako Nakamori would be rocking. You could join Violent Princesses.
That is pretty fair. Hanako could probably get a good one there. We have one of the many rivalries of the undercard. Yuki Yamazaki takes on Megaton because that's the thing that happens a lot and is usually pretty fun. But Yuka is gonna win.
You damn right she is, bro.
Rei Seto takes on Minami Yuki. You would assume that's Rhea winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that undercard. Wow. We get into the business end. Then we have Miko Ono, Mayu Iwatani, and Victoria Yuzuki taking on Nagisa Nozaki, Misa Matsui, and Chiaki. That would be a win for the babyface team because how could they not?
Yeah,
All the
Chiaki, go
title
ahead and
holders.
take that fall.
Yeah. And then our main event, potentially, Utami Hayashishita, Naoshikawa, and Hummingbird takes on Mai Sakurai, Chikugoto, and SYOKO Koshino.
I've never seen a more one-sided victory so far in the cards.
Yeah, you're right. SYOKO is going to pin
Utami.
Naoshikawa.
Oh.
Utami. I don't know which order that is. They might do the Darkness Rev match as the main event. I can't remember.
That's fair.
But, it's fun. Then on the 14th, we have True Victory in Tahara City, General Gymnasium, mecca of wrestling, truly. Chikugoto and Shino. Oh my god, it's us. It is our
Oh my
faves.
god, what a team.
They're taking on Naoshikawa and Megaton.
What a match. This is what it's all about. God. Whenever anybody does that stupid Voices of Wrestling year-end awards, y'all better put this match on there. I'll tell you that right now.
This could be
This is match of the year.
funny.
I'll come at all of you who put Bro.
I don't know why
Tell
it's
me
so funny to me.
because you have Shino booked and you said, you know what? Megaton it is.
Naoshikawa and Megaton.
What a team, bro.
Oh man,
I
okay.
can't wait for them to lose, and now Ishikawa's backstage be, man, why do I keep teaming with Megaton?
Yeah, just gonna try and like cut a promo to start a storyline, and Rossi will just plug his ears and pretend he didn't hear it.
He
Um,
probably didn't hear it if that helps. He's very old.
that's true. Yeah. Yuki Yamazaki takes on Nagisa Nozaki. That's fun.
Oh.
Yeah. Nozaki gets the win, of course.
Hmm.
Kazuna Tanaka takes on Minami Yuki and Hummingbird. Genuinely, that's up in the air. It could be any one of them.
Say the kids or Yuki.
Yeah.
Unless Rossi's just saw an awakening in the Hummingbird match and just goes, man, think it's time.
He did say if this match had been her debut, maybe Destiny would have been different. So he seemed really into it. So
Yeah.
it's possible.
But that last line tells me it's not.
Yeah, possibly. Is she not? I think she's going away as well, isn't she? She should do a play, so that probably doesn't help. There's somebody
Who?
on the roster who's doing a play in January, and I just have never remembered who it is. It's probably Hummingbird though. She was
Koki
involved.
just did one, so it's probably not her.
It was Koki. Maybe it was a month early. I don't know, but I thought somebody was like set to miss time to do a play or something. But maybe I'm
Oh my
wrong.
god, that'd be hilarious. Koki wins a belt. All right, I'm out.
It would be. Well, that's how she wore. That's what she did last January. The
Yeah,
J
but
team disappeared for a few minutes.
yeah, that doesn't count. That's only canon in like Monday Magic, so that's fine.
That's fair. The business end of this card, anyway, is Miko Eono and Victoria Yuzuki taking on Mai Sakurai and Seri Yamioka. That is going to be the semi-main because it's going 15.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody's
Yeah.
eating a fall.
That is like one of the best matches they've booked in
Yeah.
weeks. That's crazy.
I don't know. Mai's due for a win back from, I don't know. If it's not this show, it'll be Korakuen because she ate the
Yeah.
Super Styles Clash.
Yeah, they'll probably save that for the Korakuen Hall because they will do a preview tag there. That's kind of their big thing. Our main event is Mayu, Utami, and Komomo Minami taking on Misa Matsui, Chiaki, and Rei Seto. As the babyface is winning, sending everybody home happy. Hallelujah.
Yeah, Seto, go ahead and get ready to look at them lights.
Yeah. And I think that's it for the next week. So that's kind of a, it's nice that they're getting people back. You can definitely tell that they missed some of these bodies because some of the house shows recently were not good, but I think looking at these cards, I'm quite into them. Shino being around is a positive. Nozaki being around is a positive. Tommy back is good.
It's good that it's happening off of a good little Sapporo loop.
Yeah.
Morale's high. Everybody seemed like they worked really hard on the Sapporo show. They were happy with it. So get everybody in when the morale's high. It seems good. Plus, just with the construction of some of the house show cards in recent times, you can visibly see how many people they're missing, and it's just like And I mean, that's one thing Rossi's always been like, super open about. It's just like we need more people because injuries just happen all the time. So we just need to be able to cycle up. What you can do if you sign Makoto, buddy, this is what you can do.
Well, I don't know. He probably would. I don't know if she likes him. Maybe because I don't think he's ever worked with Makoto. It's like
Well,
one of the
guess
few
what?
people.
This is where it's time to change that.
That's true. That's true. She is one of the best wrestlers of the year, though. In fairness,
Oh, that's for
Makoto.
sure. She's going in my awards. Don't get me wrong.
That is fair because I watched that Super Asia tag title match there and crazy good. She was so good. She got Soy and Yotsuba, and the crowd was crazy for them just because Makoto was so good.
This is Glaze, and I do not care. There has not been a single wrestler in any company that this show covers that has been as good as Makoto. Respectfully to Mayu, because she had two very good matches, but for other than that, it's pretty quiet.
That is fair because Makoto does have the venue match, which was insane too. So yeah, but that is all for Marigold, and that is all for us for now. I'll be back next week with somebody, I don't know who, to review the Marigold shows that happen and preview. I think there's a small tour at Shibuya, so it's not really that much, but we'll look ahead to it anyway. And yeah, thank you, Xavier, for joining me. You guys should listen to him on the Stardust Press podcast, which is a very good show. Him and Beth did a 2000s WWE Mid Carter draft recently. That was a very fun episode.
Oh, the most recent one was the Joshi wrestlers who debuted before 2000 where I just stomped Beth out. So
Yeah, that one was tough. They were both tough. I think I can't remember who I voted for in the WWE one.
oh yeah, the WWE one was tough, but I knew I had it in the bag when Beth drafted D-Fix first overall. I said, "Okay, buddy, that's cool with me. I got
I
this."
don't know, defects, they kind of cook.
I like D-Fix, but brother, I was able to get the Crush Cows and Johnny Sato back to back.
That is quite dominant. Yeah, I will admit that's dominance. But I don't know who won the vote.
Me.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Did you win the other one or did Beth?
Me as well. Yeah.
You okay? Yeah, you got Shelton Benjamin, didn't you? So it was like
Yeah.
this,
I had Funaki and Sheldon Benjamin. That's what's up.
That's kind of sick. I did have a bone to pick though. As far as I can remember, neither of you picked Marcus Corvon. Was he not eligible? Or did you guys
No, he
forget?
was eligible. I just I just straight up forgot because his WWE run wasn't long whatsoever.
Yeah, but he was right.
I was the first one to pick a woman though, so I got to call Beth sexist. It was awesome.
that's great.
I called her racist before that because I was picking a bunch of black people, and I was like, Beth, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it's not looking good for you right now. And then I also picked a woman first. It was like, how does it feel that I'm the only not sexist person on this podcast?
in Beth's defense, I don't think she understood how you were to define a main event
Yeah,
woman.
no, she wasn't.
Because you could reasonably say Trish Stratus because
Yeah,
like
no.
she was not a pay-per-view
Yeah,
main event.
no, I agree. I drafted Cherry from Deuce and Domino, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, you guys should listen to that because Xavier is a very interesting mind for pro wrestling, and he is a hater, and we can all
If
appreciate
you
a
like
hero.
New Japan or AEW, don't listen.
Yeah, no, don't
Or
do that.
WWE, don't also listen.
No, you guys aren't too bad to WWE.
Oh no, I called Triple H like a bitch or something last
So do
episode. I was like,
most WWE fans, in fairness.
oh.
I don't think anybody likes him.
Oh,
So.
that's because Cena was like, yeah, I wanted to work 200 days, and they told me 36, and I said, all right, I guess.
Yeah, but you guys will hear me again. This is the end of part 1. Part 2 will be later with Scott to discuss Stardom, but for now, we're out of here. And I am back with part 2. Part 1 was with Xavier. We did Marigold. And here for part 2, I am joined by the one and only Scott E. Wrestling to discuss Stardom. What's up, Scott?
Not too much. I'm happy to be here. You finally got me back on the show. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I always was gonna come back. Time. Time is we don't have enough of it. I was talking to Doc about this the other day. I don't remember what we were talking about exactly, but I was saying how like there's just never enough time in the day.
Yeah.
And I told you I would come on while Dylan was doing whatever nonsense he's doing. And I actually had to postpone, so I didn't even think I was gonna end up on here by the time Dylan came back, but Stardom booked a Korakuen worthy of my time, so I said, "You know what, Alex? I'll make it work. We'll make it fit," and here I am. So
Here you
you
are.
can actually give Stardom the credit because they made sure, like, all right, we'll just make it happen, and the show was good, so
Yeah,
that's
well, it
even better.
was probably their best in a while, but we can get into that. We will review the single Stardom show that's happened over the past week. They were in Korakuen Hall on the 8th of December for Stardom Nighter. This must have been an early nighter because it was on a lot earlier than usual.
Well, it's because of the hour change too.
Oh, that's probably why. Because I remember being like, "This is on far too early for my time. This can't be nighter." But they did a sellout 1,519 fans. I've given up analyzing Stardom attendances because they're just good all the time. Like I've run out of ways to say they're doing good. People know they're doing good. If you don't know they're doing good, you're living under a rock at this point. So
They typically don't make sense to me.
yeah,
Like, they'll get a big number on, like, a show that I'm like, "That's shocking," and then was it the BMI 2000 defense where they got, like, 1,100 or something, and I was like, "Why?"
yes, yeah. One of the BMI matches I think did 11 or 12.
Yeah, I think it's just worth just being like, "Promotion's hot,"
Yeah,
and then that's it. We just move on, you know?
it
But this
works.
show deserved it. This show had a lot of, like, notable things that I kinda wanted them to sell out because, like, you get a return, you get a big number one contenders match, you get a title match. Like there was a lot going on here.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is like I would have bought a ticket, like that's kind of how I like to judge a show. Like, would I have bought a ticket for that show? Usually the answer is no on almost anything, not just Stardom. But this one I was like, yeah, I would have bought a ticket without a doubt, because like I said, this was the most hyped I've been for a Stardom show in months.
Yeah, well, the one true ace, Maika, she came back, and
That's not why. I mean, she was part of the reason why, actually. I was excited for her to be back.
Okay. And I know she kind of shifted tickets as well, because Peps was obviously on the beat as soon as she announced her return. I think they sold out not long after she announced she'd be back, so she seemed to move a few hundred at the very least. But we'll get to talk about Maika later. We opened the show with Motoi Hamabe beating Ane Kanaya in 9 minutes. This was the return match for both. Motoi has been out for over a year with a knee injury. Ane has been out for about eight months with a hand injury. And I think it was a pretty solid match given the ring rust for both of them, and there was nobody there to like lead the match who was kind of in their flow. So there was a few moments of kind of awkwardness, but generally I think, considering the absence they've both had, this was pretty solid. Like I was impressed by both of them.
This was actually the reason I was most hyped for this show. I'm not kidding.
That's fair.
Both of them being back, like they were my favorite rookies. For both very different reasons. Like Motoi and couldn't be more different from each other in terms of like what they bring to the table. But I think that's why I like them as much as I do. And they, like you said, they both look good for two wrestlers who are, one, rookies, and two, rusty. Um, Motoi, had to pretty much reconstruct her knee. You saw the knee pad. She had like a knee sleeve on underneath, and then Anne, I know, like blew up her hand or something. I don't really understand what happened there, but she was gone for a long time. She only had 8 matches beforehand. I like to remind people that 8 matches, and everyone kind of was like, "Man, we need her back." Like that, she made an impact very quickly. Motoi, I've been meaning to make this comparison, but I haven't on any audio I've done, so you get it. Motoi is like, to me, the closest thing Stardom has to like a Sanka, Seiri in terms of like athlete
Okay.
type rookie, not like super rookie. I'm not saying that. But like I think she can reach a very high level because of her style and the way she wrestles. Like there is a natural ability, I think, to her when it comes to the in-ring aspect. For her, it will be working on the charisma and the, I'd argue the more difficult thing to learn sometimes. But I do think she has like the natural ability, that like judo throw she does where she just yanks the person's arm and they fly over her. That always looks good. And I think in time she can be really, really strong for them. And I think she'll have a very high future. When it comes to Ann Kanaya, I think she's also fantastic because she does have all the charisma, right? She's charisma, she's creativity, and I think that goes a long way for her. And that's why people remembered her after just 8 matches. Um, she didn't lose the creativity either. There was some rust here and there, but that's gonna bring her such a long way. And since she's one of the older rookies, I hope they kind of get behind her sooner rather than later. She's still very new, so I understand why she lost this match. But yeah, I'm not saying that Motoi is Seiri and Sanka. I
I
don't
thought
say
you were going
anyone's
crazy there
Seiri.
for a sec.
No. For what it's worth, I don't say anyone's Seiri. Like that's a different tier.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then it's Sanka in the next tier, type thing. To me, but I think she has that potential to be a really special in-ring young wrestler. Just health comes with both of those. I would like them to team though. I don't know if you felt this way, but they kind of showed a lot of friendship, in their rehab, and they've shown a lot of posts. Like, listen, New Blood needs something. Why not just have
Yeah.
them team?
They do need teams to challenge for the New Blood tag belts now, because I don't think
Yeah.
there's any left. So They
And
would be a
neither of
nice.
them joined the faction, right?
No, I know Stars was in the process of like getting Matoi in, but that seemed like a Hanan thing, so they might need to wait for
Yeah,
her.
well, when that was happening, Mayu Iwatani was around, so, that was a long time ago. Uh, okay, good. I couldn't remember if either of them had joined, because I know Anne wrestled Yuna in her debut, and that also threw me off.
Oh yeah,
But I'd like them to team before they eventually join factions away from each other, because I'd like to see those 2 face, like, Aya and Sayaka Kurara. I think that'd be a
mm.
fun match.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be good. Especially just because, as I said, there's no teams, so you need something, and they kind of have paired off every rookie group as like rivals for the past few. So I think one being a team would be a nice change of pace. You know, like Akira
Yeah.
and Yuria, they're kind of rivals. They don't like each other. The two who came before that were kind of paired off as the same. So yeah, Matoi and Ane kind of flipping the script and being like, nah, she's chill, and teaming up. I think that'd be cool for the short term, yeah. But yeah, my flag is firmly stuck in the Kanaya Mountain. I
That's
she's got a
fair.
great vibe. You know, she's got these like sunshiny colors to her gear. She's got a very bright disposition. Then she gets in there and wrestles a very high energy style. I think she's just very easy to get behind and root for. I think that's going to serve her really well. So I kind of prefer her over Matoi, who, despite having the cool orange streak in her hair, probably needs to catch up in the charisma and vibes department, I would say. But you know, you can't really go
I
wrong with either of them.
I think what's the better way to say this? I think that's kinda what I was trying to say with the, Suri Sanka thing is I think Anne fits better in Stardom.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like, Anne can learn from a Natsupoi, or someone like that, and I think that's gonna do her a lot of good. For Matoi, like, I guess it is Hanan and the sisters, right? Like, that's
Mm,
kinda where she reminds me a lot of Hina too, Matoi. There's a lot of Hina there, I see, which is not a bad thing based on what,
no.
Hina developed into this year especially. But yeah, I know, I think picking Anne is the right move. She's the older one, so, like I said, I hope they are willing to get behind her sooner than later. Now, once she gets her legs back under her, is
Mhm.
there a faction you wanna see either of them in?
Um, I mean, Ane to Cosmic Angels feels like a very obvious move, and that would give her the backing of the popular group. So probably
Yeah.
that for her long term. I think she would win more with
Yeah.
Cosmic Angels. But
Yeah, I guess it depends, like actually, it probably makes sense because they don't wanna beat Aya and, Sayaka as much anymore either,
that's true.
and
Yeah.
even Yuna, assuming she finally wins the high speed. So that would actually be a really good spot for her. I
Mm.
couldn't for what it's worth, there's not a lot of factions to pick from here, that I want these people in, like
Yeah, you kind of want to avoid three of them, so
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't leave many
yeah,
options.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. For Matoy, I actually don't want her in a faction, like, that's kinda where I've landed. None of them, none of them j like, isn't Yuri Hime in Stars?
Yes.
Yeah, see, like, no, we can't we can't be putting her there now. I guess, like, she'll land in, like, God's Eye or something in, like, 5
Yeah.
months.
I wouldn't hate God's Eye, but I don't really want
It's just
anybody there
God's Eye's
either.
overloaded,
Yeah.
you know?
It's
They
a
need
hard
someone
place
to
to be.
join Hate. They need a
Kikyo.
pin eater.
Kikyo can do that.
Yeah, 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 that's a good
Yeah.
shot. Remember Kikyo?
Well, we're gonna talk about Kikyo now
I
because
have
she was in
I
our
have
next
so
match.
few thoughts about this match, but sounds good.
Azumi, Meisera, and Miwa Masaki of Neo Genesis beat Lady C, Tomoka Inaba, and Kikyo Furusawa in 8 minutes. Yeah, just a nice win for Neo Genesis. Lady C at one point absolutely cleaned somebody's clock with a boot.
Yeah,
Um,
she's
and Tomoka Inaba had a great section with Azumi and continues to be one of the standout tag workers of Stardom. And her reward is going to be having one big match all year. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Tomoka should leave for EXV. That's actually something I walked away from, not because, like, EXV is the best faction to join, but her, Xena, and Maika, I would like
Yeah.
that. I would like that a lot because I think, like, she's, like, what, 4th in her faction? Maybe? Hina's
Saki,
gonna be over her
Siri,
next year.
Ami. Yeah, I mean, she's about even with Lady C, depending.
That's
Sometimes I
not
really like
good.
Lady C.
I like Lady C, but that's not good for Tomoka.
Yeah.
Like you said, she's most consistent, and she got 1 big match this year. She's been
Mm,
around the entire year. Ugh.
yeah.
Azusa is in better standing, and she's, like, the lowest on the totem pole in her faction.
Yeah, well, she is the outside belts to prop her up,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I just would like Tomoka with Micah. I think that would be nice.
That's fair. I wouldn't hate it. Our next match was FWC, the team of Hazuki and Koguma beating Momo Kogo and Yuria Hime just under 9 minutes. It was fine, Hazuki and Koguma are what they are at this point.
You forgot
Kogo,
the high speed challenge.
I will circle back.
Okay.
But yeah, FWC, they kind of are what they are. Kogo is like trying to shoot an angle for a CMLL title match, but she lost, so it makes it hard to do that.
She was sitting in the ring for so long, like, trying to make something happen. Suzuki was just not acknowledging her.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I kinda felt bad. Not that bad, but, like, I kinda felt bad.
She did it in the backstage comments too. She was like, "Oh, I really like that CMLL belt, man. I'd really like to challenge someday." And I was like, "Yeah, but you kind of lost." So
She's gonna be the lowest on the totem pole in the entire company, right? It
yeah.
doesn't get lower than Momo Kogo.
Um, I'm trying to think.
Like,
No.
Momo in the Saya Kamatani, thing was pretty low, don't get me wrong, but Momo Kogo is, as low as it gets.
Yeah, it's kind of her and Akira, but Akira did get like a
Akira
big
made
win
it to the
for me.
playoffs.
Yeah. So
Poor
yeah,
Momo
you're right.
Kogo.
It's Momokogo.
Something about the name Momo
Yeah, they don't like it.
doesn't go well in that company.
More importantly, though, after this match, Fuwa-Chan showed up and she said, "Hey guys, I'm going to re-debut at Sumo Hall, and I want my opponent to be Hazuki." So I was expecting her to be in a hate tag of some sort. I thought they would do like Fuwa and Hazuki maybe against Tora and somebody, and they would like play into some of the Fuwa fans being a little bit squeamish about wrestling. And they decided instead to let her get murdered by Hazuki. They did train together for Fua's first match, so I'd imagine they're going to work somewhat snug. Like, I think they're both going to be comfortable enough to let Hazuki be full Hazuki, and you're probably going to see Fua sell like her life depends on it. So I'm very intrigued by that match.
It's gonna be a top 3 match on the card.
Totally, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty confident in that. Now that we kinda have the main matches lined up, I don't maybe, like, one more big one with Micah or something coming up. I was like, I don't know. All of Fua's matches beforehand were awesome. Like, I think
Yeah.
people forget that, like, all those tags were really good. Now she's gonna face Suzuki, who's not gonna hold back whatsoever. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
great. Like, I'm very excited about it. I know people have their thoughts on Fua, kinda jumping in. My what's my main thought on Fua was seeing her ringside was like a jump scare. I was like, "Oh, she's a second. That's
Yeah.
weird." Like, this is a famous human that, is just the second because she's training. Like, that was something that jumped out to me before this, and then when she ran in the ring, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna challenge Suzuki, isn't she?"
Mm.
Um, and I'm all for Hazuki getting singles matches, so that's cool with me
Yeah,
too.
who knew it would just take Fuwa-Chan getting cancelled to bring Hazuki back into the
Do
fold?
do you think there's any chance they give Fua the win?
Yes.
Okay, alright, I'm not crazy then. I felt a little crazy when I was thinking about it, watching them talk, and I was like, "Kinda feels like it."
Well, I mean, Fuwa Fuwa might just be like a big rival for Saya next year because they want to sell that dome.
I mean, w why wouldn't you try to book her quickly?
No, I mean, I don't know how long she's gonna stick with wrestling.
Right,
It's kind of what
right.
I have thought. Like, she might do this to rehab her image for like a year, and then be like, oh, hey, I'm famous again. You know, you never really know. But yeah, no, if I was Stardom, I would be trying to run Fuwa versus Saya in some manner in the biggest venue possible, because why wouldn't you?
No, you're right. You're right. I'm fascinated to see how the Fuwa-Chan experiment goes. Like, that is one of the most interesting parts of wrestling for me in 2026. Not just Stardom, not just Joshi. Like, that is going to be fascinating to see how they book her, how they go about it, how quickly is she in a big match? Does she just win the Cinderella? You know, like things like that.
Yeah, she might. Yeah, Cinderella. Well, kind of how it was last year. It'd be very easy for her to win if they keep
Oh
all
yeah.
the top stars out. Yeah. So,
Oh
and if
yeah.
she draws, you know, why not? I know she is a draw. It's hard to really tell with Sumo Hall.
We won't know after we won't know till after Sumo Hall what kind of draw she is, in my opinion. Because, like, listen, that show's selling out. Does not matter, like, who's there. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, like they could put Tanahashi on that show. It's selling out with or without him. You know,
Yeah.
everything that week. That's Bushi Road esque is selling out. I'm pretty sure. Like, Saya's doing the main work. Fu is gonna help. The fact that all these foreigners are coming in as well for the Tanahashi stuff. They're gonna buy tickets to this too. It's the perfect storm for that show to be as big as possible. I don't know how much Sumo Hall fits, so I can't give like biggest
It
Stardom
really
show.
depends. I don't think they set up for the full capacity. I've kind of seen people float like 5,000 to 7, maybe.
Do they do a stage? Do you remember? Like, do they
They
block off
do.
part of the
They
opening?
love
Yeah.
they love a big stage for the big shows.
Yeah, like, I know they can't do a huge stage at Sumo Hall because you only have that aisleway, but couldn't remember if they have, like, a big screen.
Usually they do. They kind of like that for the bigger
Yeah.
shows because they do
It'll
the
be their
Tron.
biggest it'll be their biggest Sumo Hall attendance, I think, easily.
I can't remember what Tam Saya did. It was
It was
4, wasn't
4K.
it? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they'll beat that. Yeah, I think I'll set up for
I think
5
they'll
here.
hit 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah, before I forget, circle back. May Sarah
Oh,
was challenged for the high speed title by Yuna Mizumori. That has been made official for the Korakuen Hall show Stardom Year End Xmas Night on December 24th. Presumably Unimon will win. They've kind of held off on her beating May for as long as humanly possible. But May has run through that division. You might as well give it to Unimon at this point. Like, there's no benefit keeping it on May Sarah.
this started back in March.
Yeah.
And then they just forgot the belt. And then they came back around to it, and then they went to a draw, and then Waka had to get a challenge in.
Mm-hmm. And Hazuki.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. That was good. I'm happy for Yuna. That's my main takeaway. She's earned it and then some. This show is a lot about people earning things, you know, like they
That is
earned this
true.
spot. They deserve it. Do you wish the high speed was on the big shows? Cause I do. Like the biggest shows, I wish the high speed got on it.
Kind of, but I don't really think it deserves it. And I'm pretty big on earning your stripes. So
Oh yeah? Oh yeah, does
yeah.
Konami deserve it?
Yeah. I said this to Dylan. I think she's been good since they told her she'd be getting a push. Like her end of the GP, the Sari stuff. I thought
I
the
had a
match was
real
very
big
good.
moment. I had a real big moment watching this show saying, "Why is she the champion going into this show?"
I think she's good at what she does. I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't watch Tag League.
That's true. She was not good there, but
No. I mean, I think her need is gonna actually be really good.
yeah, for sure.
I just had to give a slight to someone thinking of all the
That's
title
fair.
matches. Like, well, I like BMI 2000. I'm not gonna give them a slight. The other one's Saya Kamatani, so like, I didn't have much to choose from.
That's fair.
Yeah, I do like these matches being kind of like the main events of Korakuens. I like the all decked out like Queendom shows too. You know,
That's fair. I just don't think
and
you
May
can.
Sarah gets to do nothing ever, so that's part of
Yeah,
it.
well, you know, she too small.
Hey,
Speaking of smalls, Cosmic Angels, the team of Aya Sakura, Natsupoi, and Yuna Mizumori beat Chi-Chi, Miku Kanai, and Sari in just under 12 minutes. Natsupoi pinned Sari with a special German suplex, and afterwards challenged her to a singles match, which Sari finally accepted. That is happening on Sumo Hall. This was a very, very good match. Chi-Chi reminded the world that she's awesome. She hit that one running big boot, and I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And Sari Natsupoi finally kind of really dove into the preview aspect of preview tags. They've kind of like teased it in some of their previous matches, but this time they just went full in on Sari and Natsupoi doing their thing and giving us a little taste of what their title match will be. So I had a very good time with this.
It's such a shame Sari doesn't put anyone over, you know? I've had to read about that for the past 7 months.
That's so
Here
funny
she is.
considering she's like 1-5 against Chihiro Hashimoto. Like
Yeah.
she's insanely smart.
She will put you over if the story plays to it. And guess
Yeah.
what? The story plays to it. I think these two have done a phenomenal job at building up a match that doesn't have a belt on the line. That's something that can be very difficult, I think, in today's wrestling, is building up a match with stakes against one another with no title on the line. That's not me saying it's difficult in terms of like uh it's not difficult to do. It's just people don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And this match has a real fire to it. They've done the legwork to get to this moment where this was such a great moment too.
Yeah.
Having Team Sareism versus the Angels, and even playing to the Chi-Chi Aya Sakura stuff was really smart. Like that was just I was watching those two, I was like, man, we're missing something here and just not letting these two fight uh ever. So that was really cool to see them combine. And then Yuna and Miku just kind of fit right into their role. Like you said, the preview stuff that they put out here was so good, and I was like, man, they're just gonna steal the show that night. And I it was another moment like thinking to myself, like, it's crazy what the world title match is on this show. I did the slight to Konami. The real slight is to just that, poor Sariano. Not her fault, though. I just want that to be clear. We're gonna talk about that later with
Yeah.
the tag, but man, Natsupoi is putting in some of the best work she's put in a minute, in terms of just like passion and fire, and of course, doing it with her best friend makes sense. Um, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for this match when this idea started back just in terms of building towards the Sareism, and with the interviews of like Natsupoi saying like, "Yeah, I don't really like wrestling much these days, but sorry, kind of told me I'm no good, so let's go." I think they've done everything you can ask for, and the match is going to deliver big time, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, the joys of Sari. She will make a match matter.
Yeah,
And
she's pretty good at her job.
certain redheaded woman who used to be world champion could take a leaf out of that book, but she doesn't want to. So
You can attack that former world champion. We could attack the current world champion and the company we're talking about right now too, in terms of making world title matches matter.
admittedly, Kamatani has had a very bad time building title matches without Tam.
We watched the
Um,
Momo one.
yeah,
I don't think I've been more angry at a show that I've watched this year than that
that
show.
is fair. That is
Just
fair.
like
I think a
thinking
lot of
back,
people were very
that
pissed
that show is
off.
frustrating. And well, I mean, hello, look at the title match we have here. We're already
Yeah,
building to Maika.
yeah,
Saya Kamatani has 2 title matches before that,
yes.
and I forgot the Shuri one, by the way. I
Oh, so you
forgot about
didn't
that the
watch the
other day.
preview tag? They were
Which preview tag?
they did one on the tag league final.
I did
Shuri.
watch that,
Oh,
but I forgot since then.
okay.
Like,
Well,
I watched that. That's my point, though. Like, I feel like we have 2 big title matches here, one in Wrestle Kingdom, one at Stardom Dream Queendom, and none of them matter that much.
yeah, no, that's fair. I
How
feel
did
like
I get on this rant?
banking
Oh, we were
on
talking about Sari, and we were giving her praise, and we were
yeah.
dunking on former and current world champions. Never mind.
Let's just agree Aphrodite need to be gay as hell
They need
to
to
make
wake up.
it work. And if they're not, then it's not gonna work.
That's fair. That's fair. Sorry, Dylan, but I'm gonna have to agree on that one.
Okay. Our next match was the Mi Vida Loca team of Akira Kuragane, Bozilla, Itsuki Aoki, Rini Mashita, and Suzu Suzuki, beating the God's Eye team of Hina, Kyoka Kotatsu, Rani Agami, Saki Kashima, and Syuri in 10.5 minutes. Suzu picked up another win for her team over Hina this time, and I thought this was a good match. Syuri and Rini Mashita, please stop teasing me if you're not going to do a singles match. Like every time they do stuff, it is awesome, and I'm just like, you're never giving me the singles. Please give me the singles. And that was kind of my main takeaway. Was I'm very sad that we're not going to get that, but also Bazo and Saki still funny.
That was my second takeaway. The Shuri and Rina thing. My first one was like these two factions are just kind of like a blob to me. They're just kind of there.
You
You
know,
know,
Mi Vida Loca, I tend to disagree, but only because their theme song is so good, it saves them. Like they have the
the
best
theme song
theme
can be good. There's a lot of wrestlers with good theme songs that do nothing.
Yeah, but they have the best group theme.
I love
Saves them.
Suzu Suzuki. She's winning matches all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You know what? They did win me
where
over
we're
with
going.
the Rina Gambate thing. That was very fun.
Oh, yeah,
I was
fun.
like, you know what? If that's them as a group, I'm here for it.
The funny thing about Mi Vida Loca is like they're very likable. Like
Yeah.
the faction itself, it works. It looks like it works. It just doesn't. They just don't do anything. Remember when Suzu pinned Starlight Kid?
Dude, me and Dylan predicted her challenging for the white belt for about 6 months, and she no longer has that belt. So
I wonder why Dylan's not here today. Adds up.
yeah. Well, that's all. There's nothing to say on that match, really, is there? It was the most.
No, Shuri and Rina Yamashita should be wrestling at Queendom. That's what we should be saying.
I'm kind of upset that they're not just going to sneak it onto the Korakuen on the 24th. Like, just be like, oh, well,
Ooh, that would be nice.
IWGP is on the line. If Syuri loses, she loses the dome spot, but they probably won't do that at this point.
No, because that's like the weird New Japan thing that like is famously known of like, oh, if they have a title match announced, we can't do anything else. And it's like, why?
It's a shame. I suppose it is the Tokyo Dome. You kind of have to give that precedent.
Yeah, but like, I guess you're right.
Yeah. But the next match was Soriano, Sayaka Kurara, Maika, and the returning Xena beating
woo!
of Azusa Inaba, Natsuko Tora, Rocca, and Saya Kamatani in 13.5 minutes. Maika pinned Kamatani in her return. Maika also has the black hair back. She's no longer short red. She is
Thank God.
Black hair. Very much feels like the top babyface star of this company every time she shows up, basically. And I thought her and Saya did really well in this tag. Like they have found a pairing with history, who are both over and they both wrestle really well. Like credit to Taro for going ahead with Maika and Saya as the big two, because they really pair off very well. And like everything Maika has done since her comeback has just been awesome. I thought her promos have been fantastic. The look reveal here was good. Her pinning Saya and just being like, the era of hate is over. I'm going to cleanse this company is awesome. I'm very into what Maika is doing. And Xena, we missed you. She is so great. She is a very welcome back. Hopefully, she can kind of get involved in either the goddess or artist titles pretty soon.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, like, man, I'm really happy for Iida and Sayaka Kurara, but Maika and Xena versus BMI 2000 would have went big time on that show. I would have loved that.
We're running that January. Don't worry.
I'm gonna we can joke about Seriano in a minute here. Yeah, no, Maika coming back with like the Maika look and not the whatever she did like after losing the world title was a really nice moment of like, okay, this is the Maika like that was the world champion that like a title reign. I have gone back recently and like, oh, let me see what this reign really was. And I was like, oh, this was a lot better than I remember. It's just
I
the
was telling
timing
people,
of it.
man. I was telling
Well,
you.
I remember I love the Tomoka match. Love that one. Love the Xena match. And those are like the last two before she dropped the belt. So her problem was like they changed her dramatically from right after the reign,
Yeah.
and I didn't love that for her. I thought it was very unauthentic. This is Maika. Like
Mhm.
that was how I like when she appeared. I was like, that's Maika. That's the one that like everyone loves. And she was so good in this match. She hit the
Mm.
best lariats of her life in this match.
Oh yeah.
I have long been like one of like, her lariat needs to just like absolutely run through someone because there's no doubt she's like one of the most powerful wrestlers in this company. Like we see it, she does the German suplex. She did the pause one this time, which was so cool. Like she deadlifted Saya, she was going down. That was awesome. But she just turned Saya inside out, and I was like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm
Mm.
very quick. Like Alex, I've had a very up and down time with Micah. And when someone's out for a long time, this happened with Ami Sorei too. I kind of just new look at it. Like let's just start from the ground up, And I was like, this is everything that you want Micah to be. This is the answer that we have been asking for in terms of like who is gonna be the person to face Saya Kamatani in all this? Like who is gonna be the uh protagonist here? And finally we have one that's not just gonna get out cheered by Saya fans. That's kind of how I felt. And the way they sold it, the way they sold the match, like you said, the promos have been great. It's very exciting. I'm
Mhm.
happy to sit here and be like, I'm pumped about what Mike is doing. I'm pumped about where we're going. I do kind of wish we brought her old theme song back, but that's
No,
fine.
this new one
That's
is great. I love it.
I like this one too, but I just liked the Micah World Champ, but I guess we can't change everything back.
Yeah.
There has to be some new. But she does have I think the new look, like kind of blending the two together of like the new version of her and the old version of her is really good.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm actually excited she's back, and I'm excited that she pinned Saya Kamatani on the first match because that's hilarious, right? Like that's just kind of really funny because we're not building to that match yet. Um,
Well,
that's in April. That's in
yeah,
April.
I think it's February. I think they're running it on the anniversary
It's
show.
a preem fight. You think so? The February one? Hmm.
That's the anniversary, and it's in Osaka 1, and I could see them doing that. Apparently, it's like the anniversary of one of the Maika Saya matches or something as
Yeah,
well. That's
it
the
was.
same.
That's the anniversary of when Micah was world champion,
Oh yeah, possibly.
I believe.
'Cause, yeah,
Yeah,
they
it was.
wrestled in
It was.
spring. So, like,
Yeah,
I
that
could
was
see that as
Rossi's
a
last
February.
show.
And also, Taro never does what you expect for the big shows because he did Maika Momo the first time for Yokohama. So there's fully a chance that he just does like
That's true.
Maika versus Ami or something in April. Saya
Yeah,
versus
here's the thing. I don't think Saya's losing
I think
before
she
Queendom.
does. I think she does if it's February.
Oh wait, she might have the IWGP, so that might not
Yeah,
matter.
they could just move her to the
Mm,
IWGP and like have her
that's true.
face. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's Maika Saya February. I think
Okay.
either way.
Starlight Kid Saya, maybe.
Start like at Maika.
So no, well, I
Oh,
was thinking Saya, but they've been building to the Saya one forever. So
that's true.
um,
Maybe you hold
it
it
could be
though.
either one.
Uh,
Either way, great to see Micah back.
yeah.
Great to see Xena back.
Oh yeah.
I admit, like when her music hit, I was like, "Whose music is this?" And then I was like, "Oh my god, it's Xena's!" And then
Yeah.
she showed up, and I was like, "Yes!" Like Xena, I feel like it's been like the forgotten injury because she kind
Mm.
of just like got hurt, disappeared, and that was that. We never really knew what it was, but as time went on, it was like, "Oh, it's really bad." Um, She's just a great part of the roster. She's a great addition to the roster. Big thing I was saying when I talked about this yesterday is like just the 4 returns on the show are just such great boosts because they boost every part of the show. You boosted the main event, you boosted the mid card, you boosted the undercard. That's awesome. That's needed. Especially if you're like us and I say this, I know like a lot of people don't watch house shows anymore. I want to. For what it's worth, I would like to watch the house shows. It's just like sometimes nothing happens at all. Um, But I'm excited to see what Maika does and Xena does and Matoi does and Kanaya does. Like I'm excited for that now. My question for you though, before we get to Seriano, is what would you have Maika do at Queendom?
It's a good question. I like BMI or C, so that kind of takes out one of her main ones.
Yeah, that felt like the obvious for me. And then I'm
Yeah,
like,
she could just you could ask Sendai for Hashimoto, and they do a Hashimoto Sendai tag again. That
we
might be
could
the
do that.
way. Because then it's like, oh, the ace versus ace tag thing. I
Mhm.
think that could be it. Because unless she's beating somebody
Strong.
from hate, I don't really know.
Yeah, we ran out of hate members, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because Momo not being around really hurts them.
Yeah. Although she was cited recently with Nanai, and she didn't
Yeah,
look to be in.
everyone's with Nanai recently.
Yeah, but I know there was talk of Momo being out for like a year with her knee, but she didn't seem to have like crutches or anything, so I assume it's not the year that was speculated.
How about Micah versus Bozilla?
Yeah, why not?
I'm just trying to think of like a big win for Micah.
Yeah, I don't know if Bozilla's a big win for her, but
I
I
guess
guess it
not,
is.
but there's not a lot of people available. That's my whole point.
Yeah, that's why I think she could just do a tag, with
Yeah.
Hashimoto or something. Maybe Suri, get the big
That works.
dogs in there.
Oh, that would be a good idea.
Mm.
Th- Shuri, Shuri and Micah teaming against Hate would have worked, but again, there's no members left, so
Well,
I don't know how we ran out
yeah,
of
with
them. I
Zusa
guess
still. Like it
you
could
could
be
do
a
Azusa, Arena, and someone maybe.
yeah, that could work.
All right. Well, either way, happy they're back. How did you feel about Sariano?
I mean, I think people have been a little bit over the top about it because she did stop Saya from cheating, and she's been one of the first people to like use the chair and fight back against her. So she did get that moment in the match, and she did try in the post match to like get in Saya's face. Um, like I know people are like upset, but I feel to some degree they're almost trying to make her feel like an afterthought because Saya in her promo is like, "Yeah, you stink. You can forfeit. Like you shouldn't even challenge me. There's still time to pull out of the match." So I feel like her being the forgotten one was almost intentional, and now they're trying to play into that. Like whether you think that's good or not is a whole nother thing. But
Yeah.
this is the same company that did Tam going over and then winning the world title. So they do love stories like that. I just don't think, like I think I said this to Velke, I just don't think Anna's going to cut the promos that Tam did to make it work.
Yeah. Mhm.
Whereas, Tam could go, oh, losing and getting up with all my heart is like the truth of a champion or whatever it
Yeah.
was she said. Anna wasn't going to do that. So, she's in a weird spot. I think they might be trying to tell a story where they're like surprising people by how good she ends up being, but it's really difficult to pull off with her limited range of promos.
I really like Sayori, so
Yeah.
like that's part of the bummer. Is kind
Mhm.
of the real like vision for me though in this match was like Micah winning, pinning Sai, and then like Sayori getting into Sai's face after. I was like, oh,
Yeah, that was pretty
that's a
funny.
great. I was like, that's not great for her. But yeah, no, I just asked because I do think like they're gonna have a pretty good match. More questioning the version of Saya, honestly, for that match because she has a bigger match a few days later. It's like, do we get full big show Saya Kamatani? I think we do. I think we do. Um, but yeah, it's been such a fascinating path to this show, right? We talked for so long about like who's gonna face Saya at Queendom, who's gonna face Saya at Queendom, and I don't know if many people pick Sariano, and like they set the Wrestle Kingdom match technically before they set that one. I know they were
Mhm.
both out there back to back, but um she's unfortunately kind of felt like an afterthought for the entire build. So I'm hoping you're right of like that's kind of the point, and maybe over the next couple weeks she has like a big emphatic win, maybe at that Christmas Cork, and um to just kind of put the spotlight on her a little before that match. That's kind of all I'm looking for. But the card's good. So it's just a weird main event.
Yeah.
When everything else feels pretty not bigger, but
Well, there's
has
an
more
underrated
focus.
aspect that I mentioned last week, I think, that Cosmic Angels is in 3 of the biggest matches. And I don't
That's
know
true.
if they're all gonna lose, and that will be the point. Like Anno caps off
Yeah.
like their bad night, and that's like them rebuilding from there. Because Sari could beat Natsupoi if they're gonna extend that to the Sari anniversary show, maybe. And Aya and Carrara probably aren't winning the tag belts. So, you could have like Sayoriano being the loser that like breaks the straw for Cosmic Angels, and they're like, wow, we all lost and we have to regroup, that kind of thing. So maybe like that's where it is. But I genuinely I might just be coping. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you are coping.
You always gotta look avant garde with Cosmic Angels, we all we know who they take inspiration from.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
started to miss her a little recently, which I don't like to admit.
I knew as soon as she retired, I said we will all miss her antics.
Yeah.
She's
I just
hard to
missed the
replace.
craziness that came with her.
Oh, her and Julia leaving has been such a blow. Like, they were
It has.
always interesting.
They were. Even if like people disliked them,
Yeah.
they still talked about them,
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Irreplaceable.
I was thinking about that the other day too. I was thinking about Julia like not being around anymore, like kind of how people moved on from it pretty quickly. But I
Mm.
was like, man, what a
Can you
time!
imagine her like her Tokyo Sports interviews about Seri or something? Like she would have
Oh
Seri in
man,
the main event level already. you know, she's
yeah,
that nuts. So
that's
but yeah.
true. I think she'll. I think Julia. This is not me just like saying something. I don't know anything regarding Julia. I do think she'll be back.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that WWE run is dying. Yeah, they'll
Yeah,
release her. They'll get her back. Don't worry.
their fault. They called her up, gave her a title, and did nothing. That's their fault.
Yeah, I called it. Much like Mina, I knew they wouldn't translate to America, and I'm
Okay,
taking the victory
hold on.
laps.
No one actually thought Mina was gonna get a push, right?
No, but she hasn't translated it either, like at all.
That's true.
So, but I said both of them would struggle, and here we are. It's crazy. But we should get on to our next match. It was for the Artists of Stardom Championships. The Hate team of Fukigen Death, Konami, and Rina beat the EXV team of Hanako, Rian, and Waka Tsukiyama in 21 minutes, making it the longest match of the show. And you could feel it. I think this was a really well wrestled match. And then the Rina Rian thing went way too long. There was no believable universe in which Rian was going to get the win over Rina. So they just dragged it out far too much. And it just got to be eye rolling. Like, Joshi has that problem sometimes. I know Marigold does it sometimes as well in the main events where you have the obvious jobber getting like 10 minutes with this pushed act and you're like, this is not happening. Like just end the match, okay? And that was kind of what I felt here. Like Rina got so many near falls over Rian that I was like, just end the match. Come on. You guys can take it home.
So I did like them, like wrestling together, but like you said, just went on like way too long. They got like the big rope break or something, or the big near fall, and then it kept going for another 5 minutes. I was like, that's not how this works. You're supposed to get the one hope spot and then you lose.
Yeah.
And yeah, Rion got her like her flash pin that she does.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know what
backpack
it's
thing.
called. Yeah. And then they kept wrestling.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's odd. And then Rena had her in the submission forever before
Mm-hmm.
she tapped. I was like, what are we doing? Yeah, no, the match was fine.
Yeah.
That was my main takeaway. It just went too long. I don't really remember the first half of the match either.
There was some good spells, Konami was like kicking people and Waka was doing her thing and kind of forgot Fukigen was in the
Good
ring. But
spells. Good
yeah,
spells. You said Waka was doing her thing.
I
Yeah.
like Waka. This is well documented.
I okay.
My hot take is if Waka was in Marigold, she would be beloved because she would be like carrying.
I mean, Waka was beloved once
Yeah,
upon a time.
yeah. That's why I think if she was in Marigold and she was like asked to carry Jackie and Yan Kingdom to a decent match, I think people would be all over it.
Don't think Waka carries people.
She does.
You enjoy her New Blood tag run?
To a degree. I think they got really bad challengers. A lot, you know. The Deanna crew twice. I don't think anybody could have made that work.
Crazy.
I just respect.
She's not bad.
Yeah, no, she's not bad.
She's not, like there was a time Waka was bad, you know.
Kind of.
She's also not great.
Well, listen, we gotta take the wins as they come.
Yeah, this roster's too big. Continue.
It's fair. Our main event then of the evening was Iida beating Ami Sorei in 20.5 minutes to become the #1 contender for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Very, very, very entertaining match. Just a good old slugfest. Chops, brainbusters, stupid bumps, lariats, everything, you name it. This was just the full-on passion and spirit that makes the Wonder title what it is. And I think the crowd was so very behind Iida that it made it very fun down the stretch. And, you know, I think Stardom as a whole has moved towards a bit of a SYOKO Koshino led house style where everybody's like working quicker and a bit more spotty than even before. So seeing these two change it up and just go, no, we're gonna have a slugfest, we're gonna beat on each other, we're gonna hit hard, and we're gonna chop, and we're gonna have a fighting spirit focused match was a really nice change of pace from the rest of the show. I think it really stood out. What these two did is stuff that not many people on the roster can do.
All hail Iida. That was
hell yeah.
That was my big take going into this. This match was awesome. Like just flat out awesome. I did say a silly thing when I was recording yesterday. I was like, this is the best match since I saw since Mayu and Io, and I was like, hold on. Sari and Hash happened since then. This is the best match since Sari and Hash. But like it's so different from Stardom in all the best, like you said, the Stardom formula that we've gotten very used to. And that's not an attack on the Stardom formula whatsoever. I've enjoyed many matches from Stardom this year. But there's just something about two wrestlers going in there and having the old slugfest that we don't get a lot, I think, in overall wrestling these days anyways. It's the never open weight old school style that people used to love and talk about all the time. From New Japan. I mean, I just use that as the excuse. I could not name you three. Shibata, yeah, Shibata and Goto, yeah, that sounds right. Those two rocked. Not the other one. Yes, that's a shot at Ishii. Which Xavi probably somehow did in his hour before me.
Somehow he did not.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he got to talk about Iida at all. No? Okay, he would have. So I did that for him. Iida is so fantastic, and she is someone who, and you said this very well on Twitter, but she is someone who has done pretty much everything someone can do to change. You know, she's gone to the lab multiple times, changed her gear, changed her hair, changed her look, got unbelievably ripped, like all these different things, and has become such a fantastic pro wrestler. And some people don't want to give this person credit, but I'm going to here because someone that I was talking to reminded me of it. Let's give some credit to Nanai. That passion injection match flipped that switch, right? For Iida, I think in a big way, to the point where it's not that I think Iida didn't have it. It's the confidence level that comes with a match like that and a performance like that. Because I remember that match vividly. A lot of people talking about that match. It felt like the first singles match in a while at the time that Iida had been talked about. And Iida doesn't get a lot of singles matches to begin with. It's really the 5-star or nothing. So seeing her have this big showcase, big main event, and the crowd so behind her was amazing. It really was amazing. She's established herself as a great tag team wrestler. She's now been established as a great singles wrestler, and she got her moment. The crowd chanting Iida and the way that match went, that bump that she took on the apron,
Oh,
I
that's
still am in awe. Like, oh, that was so scary. And she was fine. Like, that's the scariest part. And I don't know how, but what an absolute monster she is. And Ami Sorei, I do want to give love to Ami Sorei here
oh, yeah?
because once upon a time, that was not what I was doing. And now, every time Ami's got a big match, I'm pretty pumped for it because she's figured out her style. She's figured out who she is. And it rules. And there is a big part of me that's shocked that she didn't win. Like, you have talked about this many times. I know, to me, on this show, everywhere else. Like, Stardom loves Ami Sorei. They're gonna give her her moment, right? Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. Which is fine because Saida deserved this. That was my big takeaway. I haven't been so happy to see someone win a match in a long time. Usually it's like, it's fine. I don't really care who wins. But when Saida hit that brainbuster and pinned Ami, I was like, this is a phenomenal moment. This is a
Mm.
legitimately phenomenal moment that raises up Queendom single-handedly. Like, I think Konami and Saida is legitimately going to be great because I think if anyone's going to get Konami to want to really go, it's going to be Iida because you don't have another option with Iida. Iida has one switch, and that's why seeing her on this show get the big Queendom main event, the show that we all thought Hanum was going to get it, by the way. It's really cool. And don't get me wrong, this is all leading to the Hanan return. We're not silly here.
Yeah.
But I'm still happy for Iida. Guess she has to step into Ryogoku Sumo Hall and challenge for the Wonder for the first time in her career. That is something I'm going to give credit to the booker. I'm going to give credit to the wrestler. I'm going to give credit to the crowd, the fans, everyone, because Saida is finally in the spot. A spot that you and me have talked about many of times. Like, will it ever actually happen? I don't know. And it is. So good for her. And
Mm.
she give her one championship match and you'll want to give her more and more and more because she's that good.
We can only hope. Um, I I did, as you kind of said, I said that on Twitter about her. And I feel, a lot of wrestlers, they would, in her position, just run in place. They would get complacent, see out their days, hope the cards go their way. But Saida, she got the new gear. She changed up her color scheme a bit. She changed up the hair. And the look is so important to wrestlers. That is the one thing that I harp on about a lot. Kenny Omega to me was at his best with the black hair and the shades and the black jackets. Because he looked cool as hell, right? And like Kenny after that in AEW with the blonde hair and the tights, still a charismatic guy, but not the same. The look wasn't as star power. It didn't scream star power to me in the same way. And I think a lot of wrestlers should do more to like find what makes them stand out look wise. And I think Iida did that. I think, with the red gear, with the hair, as you said, she got a bit more hench. Like she definitely looks more professional. The little green goblin with the amateur gear and the ponytail, she isn't getting this spot. It doesn't work nearly as much. She put in the work to overhaul and to make herself stand out. I think that's something a lot more wrestlers should do, both in Joshi and in Puro and in America. There's always something to try and change to get yourself to the next level. It's just about finding it. I will give credit to Taro as well. I tried to do this on Twitter. I don't know if I explained it well. I think we don't understand his method because he doesn't approach wrestling in the way we're kind of used to. He he gave Saida, I think she won the tag league for her team last year, if I'm not mistaken, or she won the block final, one or the other. And we kind of know if this was Rossi, he would have had Hanan win those matches because in his eyes, Hanan is the star. push Hanan, give Hanan the wins. But because Taro kind of like occasionally will like throw a bone to a wrestler, it makes it so that the fans are a bit more ready to accept them being pushed at any time. Because if Saida does this and doesn't win that tag league match, or doesn't, pick up wins throughout the year, or doesn't do X, Y, and Z, this is like a really she beat Ami Sorei kind of thing. But if you were to look back, you would go, oh, yeah, I mean, she could realistically, like that's kind of where she's at. And it's like it has a con because everybody's in a blob, right? And it's kind of similar in Marigold.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a blob, but in Marigold, everybody's in the blob lower down the card. Whereas in Stardom, it's like everybody's in a blob just outside the upper card, and at any moment they're ready to be pushed up and elevated if they need to be. And it's kind of very interesting. It's one of those things I think Taro has done kind of well. It does hurt some of the stuff when you're trying to be like, okay, well, who's next? What's next? It could be anybody. But it is to his benefit that he can just be like, okay, Saida white belt match at Sumo Hall, and it works. You know what I mean? I don't think not to compare like unfairly to Marigold, but I don't think Marigold could just go, okay, Komo Manami versus Yuzuki, Sumo Hall. It couldn't just do that. It wouldn't be the same. But Taro just kind of has everybody treading water at a higher level, and it just makes things a bit easier for the fans to accept when he does pull the trigger.
I mean, it definitely comes down to roster too.
Yeah.
There is a what's the word? There's a lot more wrestlers like at that level here.
Yeah.
So I think that plays to the plus and minus though of like what you're saying. It's like you have a lot of options in Stardom, but that also hurts like for many people, for the past year or two. It's like what are they doing with Azumi, for example, right? So like her kind of doing nothing now is like a bad thing in many ways. But when you get the big Saida moment, it's like, oh, it's a great thing, and that's how this works out. So it has its ups and downs, and this is one of those times it is a real benefit though. And I think that's kind of like the uniqueness of following both promotions too. It's like they're so uniquely different in terms of just roster construction. And maybe that's why it's easier to be frustrated with this style sometimes because they have so many options and it's like they go with the same few, or it plays to this moment where you do get to pull that trigger and you do get to surprise us, and it feels like, if you've been a Iida fan for the past number of years, you're finally getting your moment. You're finally getting her in that big match. And I also think they attack the pay-per-views very uniquely now, like Stardom does. Like, unless it is All-Star Grand Queendom, they're kind of just going to take chances. Like, somewhere on the card. Like, let's look at the Stardom Dream Queendom card. You have Sari Ano in the main event of that show. I don't know if that's something I would have predicted even a month ago. I mean, I guess the match has been announced over a month now, but you get my point. Like before, when the hell did she challenge Crimson Nightmare? Yeah, I couldn't have guessed that was the match. I don't think that would have ever been my guess. I would have expected, oh, maybe it's a Maika return, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, which is funny because Maika did actually return. I didn't know she was going to be able to. So like there is the plus and minus to that, like because you brought it up earlier, like you ran with Maika versus Momo when they weren't in Yokohama Arena a few years ago. They were in the smaller one area. Yeah. The one that Gleek got like 12 people at. Yeah, and like he kind of showed the signs back then of like this kind of booking and the good and bad that can come with it. So I think you do make a good point of like there is good to the way Taro does it. There can be bad as well. Like, at the beginning of the year, everyone was like picking who's going to beat Starlight Kid, who's going to beat Starlight Kid. And it's like, oh, it's Konami. Okay. Like that, which, like you said earlier, she earned it. She put in good work with kid, I just didn't feel as fulfilling, I think, maybe as it could have felt at the beginning of the year. So that's part of it too when it comes to like the champion that isn't the World of Stardom champion. This is all a rant to say that's also happened with the 5-star Grand Prix with Momo Watanabe. So,
Yes.
like
Very
none
unpredictable.
of that tournament you expected Momo to win, and then she's like, "Oh, I won." It's like, nice,
Yeah.
kinda. And then the booking went how it went. Um, but it's a fascinating way because it does keep you guessing. It is frustrating at times, but it's also fulfilling in a time like this. So you take the good with the bad, you keep going forward. I'm very excited for this show because Saeed is in the spot. She's part of that reason. So good for her. She gets the semi-main event spot against Konami. She's not gonna win, but man, it'd be so cool if she did.
Yeah, and I mean she'll have the benefit of like fighting to avenge Hanan to get the crowd further on side. Like this is Pro Wrestling 101,
Yeah.
friend of the babyface fights on their behalf, and you're trying to elevate
Yeah.
Iida even in a loss. And
I didn't think
trust
Hana
her
was
to.
that hurt. The fact that she's still not back is crazy.
She's not even on posters through February.
No.
It's kind
Yeah,
of
you told me that. I was
crazy.
like, oh,
I don't know
is
if
Kid?
that's a sign. Kid is, yeah.
Okay. I keep wondering if she like sneaks back in for this show or not.
Yeah, she'd be harder to put on, but I'm sure they'd find a space for Starlight Kid.
You could do an all-star tag of all the people not in matches, with
That's a
Maika
good
and
one, yeah.
Kid and Shuri
Mm.
against like Suzu. Think of other heels. Rena, and I don't know who else is left.
Okay.
Bozilla. You can just put Bozilla
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
spot.
Brazil.
That'd be a fun match.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. That is all though for the Corkin. There's nothing to preview because Stardom is doing house shows this weekend and there's no cards. They have announced title matches throughout the year. We talked about Mesa versus Unimon already. They've also announced that Hanako will defend the future belt against Rian at the New Blood show on Christmas Day. So that's a
Why?
fun one. Why not?
How
It's
did that
timely.
happen?
I don't actually know. They might have done.
That's why I asked why.
Yeah, they might have done backstage comments, but I didn't see it. I saw them announce it here.
Didn't Rian get pinned in that match?
Possibly. Maybe.
Oh, she tapped out to Rena. That's right. We just
she did,
talked
yeah.
about it.
Hanako probably, maybe she blamed her for the loss.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good one because they're in the same faction. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's New Blood. It's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I put too much thinking into it already.
Yeah. I guess it would be criminal of me to let you go without discussing Marigold. You are kind of associated with Marigold to some degree. How are you feeling about First Dream coming together? I was very unsure of how they'd get it with such a short turnaround from Grand Queendom, Grand Destiny. Yeah, Grand
Destiny.
Destiny.
Yeah.
But
I get all the names confused too.
Yeah,
it's easy.
very difficult. But I think they're putting the card together really well.
Well, it has Mayu and Takumi, and
Yes.
famously, that's the first feud that made me like, oh, I have to not watch anything else ever again. Like EO got me in to Joshi to begin with, but
Yeah.
those two in 2020 were like, oh, I have to watch this now. Like I think it's kind of crazy to think how many people haven't seen those matches that like follow Joshi now. Like
Yeah.
those two matches, like because I feel like you and me have talked about them so many times through the years. It's just like, remember that one? And we're also on the hot take that the second one was better. I'm in agreement with you on that one. That the second one that year in COVID, by the way, so no clap crowds. That's probably why people like the first one better. Now that I think about it, but Takumi and Mayu are going to bring the best out of each other. Okay, I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be the best Takumi performance we've seen since. I have no idea. I can't even.
Probably the Gauntlet.
Yeah, the Gauntlet was great.
Depends on how you feel about the Utami match.
Yeah, I'm not Dylan. Yeah, so I thought no. I did like her. No, we're not doing this. I think it's gonna be her best performance in years, like, legitimately in singles performance. That makes this
Okay.
better,
All
I
right. Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I think her and Mayu are gonna just turn back the clock and destroy each other. It's gonna be amazing. Um, Miku and Mai Sakurai, I think, is the most sure bet in Marigold. Like,
Mm,
I think I'm pretty confident those two will have a great match every time they face each other at this point, which is a great thing, because Miku needed that rival, especially with Mirai gone,
yeah.
and Mai Sakurai in so many ways kinda took over the spot that felt like was Mirai's once upon a time, um, which is amazing because Mai Sakurai is deserving of that spot. I think that's an awesome world title match. I think it's a great world title match to establish Miku's reign too, because she's never beaten Mai. I think that's an important part of that story, one on one. You know, she came so close in the tournament, and then time ran out. So excited for that. And then there's the trios match, right? That's gonna be really
Oh
cool. This
yes.
is
Yeah.
Yamaoka anniversary match that I think is kind of being overlooked in some ways, but it's like these guys are gonna be pretty awesome trio of like Yamaoka, Shino, and who's the other one? Is it Komomo? Is Komomo on the other side and Yuka with them? I don't remember. I just know I can't remember this roster off the top of my head.
It,
Oh, it's
but
because it's not
it's
Kazuna.
Coco.
Who is Oh, it's Coco. That's why I can't
Yeah.
remember. That's right, because she's not. I'm staring at the Margot roster to the left of me. She's not on the roster.
Class.
That'll get me. Yeah, no, and then it's against Kamamo Yuka and Kazuna. Yes. Yeah, that match is gonna be a lot of fun. That's like the perfect opener for that show, I think, in my opinion. And then you kind of have the big question mark, right? Of it's not official yet, but the Shinjuku face shows in like 5-6 hours, and that's where they're pretty much making it official based on the comments from this past weekend, and that's SYOKO and Yuzuki. Like,
Mhm.
that's gonna be one of those matches you want on this card of like, okay, let's see what Shioko's got, you
Yeah.
know? And I think Yuzuki's the right opponent for that. I know some people don't like Yuzuki, but I just keep going back to the match with Koki in the GP, a GP that's not very memorable for Koki, but that was quite easily Koki's best match, I thought, because Yuzuki kind of just shoots out of a cannon, and if you're not gonna wrestle, then you might be left behind and it might be bad, but you kind of have to keep it going. So yeah, I like the card. I think it's okay. It's not like the size of Grand Destiny card, if that
Mm.
makes sense. You know, I think it's weird because all three besides Grand Destiny are in Oda Award. So it's like, how do we judge the size of each of them? To me, First Stream's the probably lowest out of the four big
Yeah.
pay-per-view
Well, May
shows.
is like the anniversary. I think they'll
Right.
always
Right.
treat that specially.
Yeah, so I think I think you made a good point. Like it's a strong card for so quickly after Grand Destiny too. I think. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think I would change too much. I'm interested to see like what's the one more match we get, because I'm sure there'll be a tag title match of some sort, and
I
then maybe
imagine that's
something
Twin
for Utami.
Tower.
Yeah, yes. Well,
Seems
what
to
did
be
Koki
leaning
hurt? Did she break her collarbone?
collarbone. Yeah, but she
Yeah,
tweaked
she could.
today, and it seems suspicious that she would tweet.
That is
She's
suspicious. She
probably
could be back. Collarbone's a unique healing thing, you know, that's one of
yeah.
those that you can do in like you can do anything from like 6 to like 12 weeks. So I think that's maybe a good call. And you know, with the title match happening. And then Utami will probably do something. So yeah, I'm into the card. I'm excited for the card. I'm really just excited for things to happen.
Yes.
I know a lot of people have been kind of waiting around for things to happen. Um and I think we're kind of in for a good treat between uh Queendom, between First Dream, the marvelous Korakuen has Sankan Suri on it. Um I'm sure there's gonna be other stuff on these shows. You know, TJPW has a really great card again,
Oh
as
yeah,
they
that card
always
is
do
awesome.
on the 4th. I'm gonna be
Well, hot
hated
take,
again.
I think
Can't wait.
TJPW is going to have a big 2026.
That would be cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against it despite what people say about me. I'd actually be for it. Like, I
Yeah.
want them to have a big 2026. It's Miyu versus Suzume, right? The Mirai versus Endo.
Yes.
Yeah, it's sick. See, like, I'm not. That's awesome. Like, that's an awesome top 2 matches. I don't even need to know what's on the rest of the card. But yeah, I'm excited for stuff to happen, and I like the first stream card. I like the Queendom card, and Dylan better get his ass back on the show because
You're damn right.
I'm sick of his gimmick being, "Oh, I'm not watching wrestling right now." Shut up.
Tommy's back. I think he'll come back to coincide.
Yeah, no, he's coming back. He's
Yeah.
absolutely coming back with Utami back. You know, it's kind of crazy watching Dylan become the Utami guy.
I know. Yeah. I think he just does it to spite me sometimes.
Like he went, like he's always liked Utami. That's not me saying like he
Mhm.
just became an Utami fan, but like that's his wrestler now. And maybe it's because like Azmi disappeared and he doesn't like anyone else.
I think a few people have course corrected too hard on Utami now because they like feel like it's defending Marigold and not defending her, and that's maybe why. But that's
I mean, I like
that's another
Utami, but
thing.
like I don't feel the need to fight every time her name's brought up.
Yeah, but some
I
people
actually
do.
feel the need to never fight
That's true.
when
But
her
she's
name's
become
brought up.
quite the hot button issue. So I think it's more of a
Yeah.
brand.
Well, she's in tags right now, so everyone should be happy.
Yeah, that's where she's good. Better? Not
I
good.
like Utami. I hope she kind of does like the Okada crazy balloon thing.
That'll be fun. I think she should
I
do
think
the
that'd be
jacket gimmick. Like all
that
the
that's so good. Like
yeah.
she's so good when she does
He
that.
has a very certain comedic style that could make her the funniest wrestler alive if she embraced it.
Yeah, yeah. There's a part of Utami that's she embraces like 3 times a year.
Yeah. She's just a
But yeah.
silly guy. Last question before I let you go. Um, gun to your head. Does Mayu vacate the Superfly?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, great.
I don't see how she doesn't. Unless my dream of Mio Momono pinning her happens, which
Using the guy who would actually fight wrestlers in the ring.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, there would be
Yeah, it would be awesome though, right? Like imagine.
what her punching out Rossi.
I meant Mio Momono winning a match.
Oh right, okay, yeah,
Which your possibility is probably more believable.
yeah.
Oh man.
All right.
Man. You know, I mean I'd have Yamioka beat her. I just want Sayuri to win a belt already. I'm kind of annoyed.
Honestly, I think Sari is above the Superfly.
She is. She should just win the world title tomorrow.
Yeah.
But listen, we have to go in order. I don't think she wins the white belt, but she could win an anniversary.
Yeah, possibly.
I just want her to have a belt.
Same. She's kind of cooking lately.
She's always cooking. She's just not doing anything now.
That's
This is
true.
really weird. She's now not doing anything for the first time in the first year of her career, and it's like, hey, what the fuck?
That's how you know she's gonna get pushed. That's one
Yeah.
of Rossi's weird things, isn't it? Remember Iono was just doing random tags for months and then retired in a night.
Then she killed Nana. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
That's
kind of sick. Though Miku versus Sayuri at the anniversary show to fall Nanai a year later.
That could be.
That would
That could
move.
be it. Because yeah, I don't
Would
know
move
if
me
we should lose
tremendously.
that soon. You should lose to Sari, and then Sari should drop to Chikagoto.
Wait, hold on.
Tell Sari to do the business with
Hold
Gochi.
on. What is Sari winning?
The UN.
If she wins the UN, Mayu's taking it from her. Let's be real.
Okay, but you should tell her to do business with Gochika.
I can't. Whatever. I can't. Okay. I will. You know, I'm going to end this with this. I do love Go Chica, and she should win a belt soon.
Hell yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of people I want to win belts.
Yeah.
It's a real problem when you only have so many.
Well, Actually, Xavier said we should get trios belts, so let's get them going.
That I agree with. I love when trios belts are used. Like when the artists are great, it's a great time. You know, we've been through this. Like, remember that year where they were super good, and remember Saki Kashima was cooking
Oh,
a few years ago.
Yeah.
It was Momo, her, and Kid.
Yep.
Yeah, that rocked.
They have
Anyways,
the
let's end the
prominent
show
spot.
because
Yeah.
this is gonna be well over 2 hours on you.
That's true. Well, you guys know where to check Scott out at this point. He is more famous than me. So check out his stuff wherever you find it. And with that, it is time to close the show after 2 separate parts. So, if you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Yo.
Ijo. I didn't know if we still said